Welcome everyone, it's EACS 2025 and guess what, we're in the business end of things. We're into the quarterfinals. I'm joined once again by Avo. How are we doing this fine Monday? It's a start of the week, start of the vibe, start of the fun COD Mobile elimination brackets.
Well, I'm excited to get to it. Obviously, we had a pool play, and pool play is one thing, but as many people say, the real tournament starts in the bracket. And being a single elimination bracket, every team is lifeline now. It's all on the line. There's no buffer. There's no, okay, we lose this one, we have our next game to bounce back. It is all against the wall. And also best of fives, too. So we're guaranteed 3 maps, which is always a great thing. We're going to see some controls today, irrelevant of how the score goes. And we actually have quite a good game as well to start us off. Seed 1 in the tournament to start us off.
I know, we've got our Nrw International versus Quantic. Speaking of the brackets, though, beforehand, let's go show you the brackets because there was a slight change due to a team deciding that we are changing up the roster and we're leaving the tournament. Therefore, as you can see at the very bottom of that, Animus will replace them, which means we're going to have that Titan battle between EU, first and second of EU teams up against each other, Animus versus Exclusive. But first off, today we're going to have 2 matches tonight. As you can see from the bracket, it is Nrw International versus Quantic. Then we'll have Ace versus Paradox to follow that up. Speaking about today's first matchup, though, Nrw International. Let's go skip over to that bracket, the roster, sorry, and we'll get to see the players that will be partaking in this best of 5. Zuko, Kiri, Lightly, Gone, and Sekuta for that Nrw International roster. Team from EU up against another team of EU on the other side is Quantic. So, Avo, let's take us through that roster.
Yeah, so on the side of Quantic, we do have Aussie, Nock, Rukia, Haku, and Master. Quite excited to see this team play. Remember, we were supposed to see this team play not so long ago, but unfortunately forfeits and things happened, and weird sort of technical issues stopped the best of 5 or best of 3 series. So actually excited to see this team play, and coincidentally, they previously mentioned they didn't want to actually play against this NRW roster, and now they face them. So it's sort of facing their demons, right? They kind of jinx themselves coming into this series. And as we previously saw in the interview, Sakura extremely confident going into the whole bracket. So it's going to be interesting to see EU versus EU. They know each other play. They definitely would have played each other before now. So it's going to be sort of who shows their hand better when it comes down to it.
Yeah, well, in this bracket, obviously with the changes, things, there were 6 EU teams and only 2 African sides remaining in this bracket. We're going to lose one of these EU teams definitely tonight, no matter what happens. It's either Quantic or Nrw International that will definitely be leaving the tournament. And whether we do that, we'll figure that out. But it's a best of 5, like you mentioned, Avo. Let's go look at these map and modes that we will be watching because we're going to see a couple of maps that we haven't seen yet. Combine Hardpoint to start us off, followed up by a Tunisia Search and Destroy, the new map, and a COD Mobile exclusive map as well. So that's going to be interesting for me and you to watch over for the first time. And then we're going to go to Takeoff Control, which I have seen one of those done before, and that was a really interesting spawn trap nonetheless that you just don't want to be stuck in for sure. You're just going to get life diminishing at a rapid rate. And Hacienda Hardpoint, and then Standoff, Search and Destroy if we go the distance. Are you giving a best of 5? How you rating this one between these 2 sides in EU?
I mean, it's an interesting take here because the first 3 maps, I mean, Combine and Takeoff from the previous series that we watched was extremely fast-paced. So we're starting off very quick and aggressive. Tunisia, I have a quick look at the map layout. I've not really seen it play, but it is quite a complex map. There's lots of intricacies, little flank routes and stuff. So that could be a map as well where you could see the pace get very, very fast depending on the routes players take. But then on the back end of the series, we have 2 much slower, much more traditional maps. So it's kind of a tale of 2 halves to me. Whichever team prefers the pacing, I suppose, right? If one team prefers fast, they have the advantage early on. And I'm going to assume that NRW will probably have the advantage being number 1 seed. So I'd imagine that's going to be their picks to start the series versus Quantic's picks to end the series. So it could be a tale of, can Quantic survive the first 3 maps? If so, they're in with a good shot here. If not, then we might see a very quick NRW 3-0, as we could be very much in their wheelhouse to start us off.
Yeah, that being said, they have played Hacienda Hardpoint, which is our 4th map, which could be interesting because it was a very dominating display from NRW. They were 250 to 15 as a massive onslaught. Honestly, I think I was remember casting it, and I thought it was the other way around at first, and realized that the names were switched around. And I was like, wow, this is a phenomenal position to be in. And on the other hand, Quantic actually lost their 183 to 250, so they lost quite considerably as well. 100-point club, so definitely going to be interesting going into it. They have only played one of these maps of this set, though. That's the interesting thing for Quantic, so that might change things around. Whereas NRW have played all 3 different maps: Standoff, S&D, Hacienda, Hardpoint, and Combine Hardpoint. So they've definitely got the knowledge of the maps that are in this. At least the first 4 of these. 3 of these 4. Tunisia obviously is a fresh one for them, but it's going to be interesting to see where we go from that. And like you say, as a 3-0 could be on the cards here for NRW International, but Quantic for the second time in a quarterfinal for UCE, they want to show what they've got and why they got to this stage, and hopefully maybe bring that upset that we don't expect to see, because NRW haven't dropped a map yet. They're 6-0, complete 100% club, and they want to keep that as going as much as they possibly can. There's nothing better than going through a couple of these elimination brackets still not without dropping a map. It just shows your dominance.
I mean, absolutely. The one thing I would say for Quantic, though, that if you could sort of give more to their side, is this is a new day. NRW haven't played for quite a bit of time now, so they're coming in fresh. There's no momentum. They obviously mentioned they went 6-0 map count, but playing games repeated back-to-back days, you get a lot of momentum going. You can ride that wave all the way through. Both teams are coming in completely fresh, so there's going to be no one riding any waves here. This is going to be coming in with no momentum, no prior preparation. It's going to be going in straight to end. I mean, Combine, to me, this is a square-up map. This is a map where we say, if our guns are better than your guns, we're going to win. So whichever team decides they want to show up today will more than likely take this first map.
Yeah, we've seen it last time, like you said, where as soon as you got the slaying power going, then it's all of a sudden it's just operator skill after operator skill after operator skill, and it's just field domination. You're seeing War Machine, you're seeing Death Machine, you're just seeing everything, just an equalizers finishing the field and making sure that nobody is getting out of their spawn, and they're just taking that time in that hard point as long as they wish, because it's devastating to see. There's just so much going on, there's so much action, and you just can't get out. It's just bombardment constantly. So that then builds towards score streaks. Then you see the score streaks coming in, and then it's back to the equalizer, and back to all the skills again. If you just keep that rotating of points and scores, it's just, it could be devastating. It could be very one-sided, but we're hoping that we're going to have a really contested map between these two sides. I'm hoping that we're going to see more than just the 3 matches as well, all for Quantic's luck, because we don't want to see anybody losing the tournament in a quick fashion. They want to put up the best fight they possibly can, and like we said, one of these EU teams will be leaving the tournament after this matchup, so it's all on the line. Like you says, one life and you're out, just like S&D.
Very much so. And I mean, speaking of search and destroy, I feel like that is going to be Quantic's key to this series. They already mentioned they're not a very comfortable hardpoint team. NRW look extremely comfortable in hardpoint. So if I'm Quantic, take it with a grain of salt. Even if you lose this map, if it's competitive, if it's close, then I feel like the pressure's more on NRW than it is on you. It might be a relief rather than a confident win for the side of NRW. And then just make sure you win your searches. We always say it, search and destroy wins championships. If you can win 2 search and destroys in a series, there's 3 respawn modes, one of them being an off-kilter third mode in control. You just got to steal one. And in a game like Call of Duty, you might not play the best Call of Duty as a team, but as I said, if everybody shows up and decides they want to shoot, and today's the day they're all going to shoot, you can steal a respawn. That's how that goes. S&D is all strategy, but hardpoint, sometimes you just spawn in and you just fry. And as you mentioned, with the operator skills chain, the streaks, one thing to note is the streaks in this game is a little bit lower than the streaks in sort of like your COD League games. So like you see the Hunter Killer, the Predator Missile, and the Sentry Gun. In terms of score, they're quite a bit lower than, say, a Hellstorm or a Chopper or something like that. So one operator skill and maybe 3-4 kills of it, immediately you have the Hunter Killer and the Predator Missile. And then you use them on a rotation. As you said, you filter that into another operator skill, and then you could chain that into more streaks. And if you could just time it right, if you can just time it at the right time, it does not matter. As I say, you don't have to be the most talented player in the world to use a death machine and kill everything in 2 bullets. So as long as you can time it right and invest at the right moment, there's always playmaking potential, irrelevant of how good of a hardpoint team you are, with things like specialists and streaks, things like that as well.
Yeah, I think if I'm behind that operator, I can definitely disagree with you there. I'm pretty sure I pull it out and I'd be insta dead, and then they'd be like, "Oh, we've shut him down already. He's got the death machine, but it doesn't matter. He's seen death before I've even touched the trigger." And then yeah, there we go. But that's why I'm not playing COD Mobile, and that's why I'm not playing a competitive level. And I'm here to cast you guys all over and hope that I can see some massive kill streaks and constant use of these specialists, the score streaks, and obviously domination on the map. So hopefully we'll be getting that map soon. We're just waiting on individuals to join the lobby and get this match underway. For now, I think we could just hold it off for a break, and as soon as the action starts, action starts, we'll get you straight back into the action and straight into that cast. So we'll catch you in just a few seconds.
We don't really care.
That's one way to go about things. Well, I wish you best of luck, and hopefully you won't be encountering any setbacks in the EACS. That being said, though, before I let you go, the stage is yours, and you can say whatever you like to everybody watching right now.
Ich will nichts sagen, alles gut.
Alright, that will do. That, ladies and gents, was Sakuta from Nrw. Have fun watching the rest of the action for tonight in EACS. Good evening, ladies and gents. Tonight I have the pleasure to be joined by the one and only Warden, aka the coach of Ace Gaming, right? Ace Gaming, that's what they're called?
Yeah, Team Ace, for sure.
Team Ace, indeed. Well, Warden, I'll jump straight into the questions, man. Ace, they kind of joined into this tournament out of the blue. They didn't make it through the qualifiers. They did not actually get to register for the qualifiers. However, the majority, and by the majority I mean almost everyone, agrees that your team has the potential to not just participate in such a tournament, but also win it. How does it feel now to be part of this tournament so suddenly?
It's pretty honorable, to be honest. Huge shout out to those who really believes in the team, and overall, I just I'll do my best as the coach to ensure that we're gonna give the whole tournament a match or a team to eye out for.
Looking forward to seeing you guys play. We're recording this interview after actually seeing your first BO3. I'm not quite sure. It was way too early for you. I'm not quite sure if you actually watched it. I saw you in chat for a little bit, but I don't know if you watched the entirety of it. So I'm gonna ask you straightforward, man. That S&D game, you guys went full B push in every single offensive round. Do you have no other ideas?
It's more about like just this is a lot of the times where this is one thing that a lot of teams don't really particularly like look at postal, is that we just look at the mid map. This is kind of like exposing strats now, but we look at the mid map, we count how many crosses. If there's like few guys crossing towards the mid map, then it's kind of like an easy call already that it's just going to be either a 2 players on B or a 1-1-3 split. That's why in some way we just decided to go B always.
Okay, so it's a call you make in the moment. It's not actually pre-planned. You actually see what your opponent is doing, and then you react rather than be proactive.
Yep.
Sounds. I mean, that's a good explanation. That makes sense now that you put it that way. That being said, though, I was told that you guys were taking a short break. I'm not sure how correct that is, but now you have to. I mean, you were only called last night to actually play tonight. How does that change your approach when it comes to preparation?
Honestly, for our match there with CR7, we just kind of like decided to wing it as well. I truly believe that in some way, like, I'm not gonna take credit in regards to the whole systemization or like what happened in Hardpoint or on Search and Destroy, although confidently I feel like I can swing a lot of these teams in Hardpoint. Search and Destroy is something that we kind of like just talked about briefly in regards to like how to make decisions. But overall, to cut things short, we didn't really care too much for our first matchup there with CR7.
So that was not the full potential of Ace in that first BO3. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Nope.
It's good. It's okay. I'll ask
10%.
you. 10%. All right. So you're gonna be top 1 in your group?
Well, for sure, with the performance that that we were able to put up, I feel like we are bound to get a bounty on our heads, and I'd like to take in the challenge for sure. So definitely, the goal is to make it to the next stage as the top 1 for the group.
Okay, well, expectations are very high for Ace. I mentioned that before. What are your own expectations coming into this tournament? How far do you think you guys are going to make it? Do you think you're winning it all? I know everyone comes into a tournament with the idea, okay, we want to win it all, but being realistic, do you think you have what it takes to win it all?
I feel like once we surpass the group stage, I think that's where the true challenge begins, because that's where talents are filtered out, and only the best out of the best will sustain themselves. Not really expecting too much of an easy ride once we make it to the playoffs, but definitely I know for sure we're top 4, top 3 contenders.
Okay, well, I've asked Exclusive and Animus this question as well, even though those interviews were actually recorded before you guys made it into this tournament. The idea was more about champs. Europe has only had 2 slots in the past. There's talks that there might only be 1 slot for Europe. And I asked them, do you guys think that with Ace in the mix, your chances of being top 2 in Europe are getting slimmer? I won't tell you what they said, but I'm going to ask you, do you think you can actually make it into stage 5 representing Europe if there are 2 slots or even 1?
Honestly, by heart, confidently, I can say yeah. I don't think it wouldn't be too much of an issue to make it to stage 5.
Okay, confident. That's what I was expecting, really. Well, Warden, I know a lot about.
There we go, ladies and gents. We're back and we are straight into the action. Here we go. We're going to kick things off with our hardpoint on Combine. Nrw International versus Quantic. Who is going to take that hardpoint first, and who's going to get started off here with the kills? Because Nox finding 1, but Kyrian likely will add 2 of themselves. P1 always going to be the most contested back and forwards, especially straight off of the rip. Hubble.
Absolutely, P1 a bit of a contest fest, right? Both teams getting that top side control of the building and the lab area, while also committing to the flank routes through the middle U and also through the wall run. This is going to be a complete bloodbath in the middle of the map. The CU can establish some early control. Nrw though coming out on top. You can see them getting control of the right side of U. It sort of funnels Quantic through this choke point and through the door, as we see 2 picked up by Zuko, with the Odin, I believe, in hand, and now we have Max trying to find the trade, backing up. The skins are absolutely insane on this game, I've got to admit it, as Lightly throws over 100 killer drone early. The streak's coming in, and he connects with it too. It's going to be essentially a full 60 on P1 for Nrw. Quantic, though, with the rotation.
Yeah, a very, very strong start. Lightly already getting that Predator missile as well, and you can already see a few dead in the feed there for Quantic for that rotation. Hoping that they can get a wee bit of time here as we go in towards P2. But remember, there is a downtime from changeover from every single hardpoint, and that's what they're fighting for now. Nrw International finding a couple of good kills as Con finds the players in the back. Can he force their way through? 3 dead in the feed. Nrw International are so close to getting back in towards P2 already, and they have made that break inside. There we go. Noxo, early close spawns, does manage to get it back.
I mean, absolutely, though. Nox with a great pinch there, but it is going to be an awkward middle ground now. As you see splits coming in for Kiri, as well as his team also swarming out towards the wall run. It's going to be a double split for the side of Nrw. Quantic have to fight on all sides. As I said, though, Lightly pulls out the death machine and finds 3 over to cut the P3 side of the map. Rukia finding 2, though, to trade out. Nox and the crew coming in through the front door now. Tracy to come in. They find 1. Can they find the second? Rukia with a big 2-piece with the VMP, but Zuko with a 2-piece of his own clears it out now, pushes out towards that left side U to release some pressure. Going to find the early picks, and it's control again. Back to Nrw.
Yeah, this is just frantic, but for Quantic, they just seem to be getting in for a second or 2, but not lasting long enough, and you just see feeds lighting up there for Nrw. Curie finding the last one there, but Quantic do over to find a couple of good kills, and then all of a sudden it's like 3 or 4 dead on their side, and that's why Nrw have got such a massive gap here. Over 60-point lead going into our next hardpoint rotation. going to see it is in favour of Quantic once again for the early rotations, but NRW finding free dead in the fade. Zuko once again going to light things up, going to keep going, and will eventually be finished off there. But yeah, NRW get the break once again and looking very strong as they're going to be able to get past that 100-point mark here. We're already on to P4, isn't it? Yeah, P4.
Yeah, I believe it's actually P3, so they're actually really racking it up here. But Rookie investing the Tempest to try and make something happen, but as I say, that gone with the equalizers, the spray and pray, able to clear out anything up and around the hill. What I want to mention, though, as Gon goes absolutely crazy in the middle of the map, equalizers shredding everything in sight. This is why they're so important to get Predator Missile straight in. He's investing everything to lock down all this time. Hunter killing out straight away. Everything, the kitchen sink is being thrown from the side of NRW towards Quantic. What I was trying to say is if you look at NRW, they always send somebody on a sneak and then they stack the front. It's very smart play. Saku at that time stuck to the back rocks as the team 4-stack through the front. It's just very intelligent hard point here. And again, I think we said this before, Quantic with early rotation. Max in position though to get some mid control. These are big kills. We can see, look at the pinch coming in, but it is read by Hakua. This needs to be a very big kill here for the side of Quantic.
Yeah, just needed Nrw to start heating up a little bit. Started a slow start, but getting themselves into a couple more kills going their way. But as you look at it, Lately has been absolutely destroying the battlefield here. Quantic in control of this hardpoint now with equalizer pulled out here from Nox. He can hold off of the players of NRW coming through that space, and Hukutu on the other side with that death machine after racking up a few good kills and a good few bits of points can use that specialist to just zone people out of the hardpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the underrated side of the death machine. It's a zoning tool. But as I say, look at the pinch, the collapse. I said it again. It's a great pinch through lab from Sakura, I believe, to collapsing on the hill, and then they're stacked from the front to buy this time. Now, NRW, they can afford to do this, right? You might think, why they're hitting 20 seconds of time? With a lead this big, if they break the back 20, 25 of every single hill, they will still win the game, even if they don't play, quote-unquote, correct hardpoint.
Yeah, exactly. When you take such a massive lead going into it, you've got plenty of time to just worry about the end parts of the game, get some kills, get the rotations afterwards later on, and then just manage to fight your way back in again, as they have been doing so well here. As NRW are just so strong in terms of these respawns. We mentioned it early on. We're obviously saying that there's no this wall run, but because of that mantle, you can still go around that side of the map, which is a bonus, I guess, because it used to just be that you had to run around off the wall run, but with no wall running in COD Mobile, you're just going to see people like this lighting up the feed with that death machine. There goes out the Hunter Killer as well, and NRW International are just absolutely frying here, and you can see the claw come out as well. Another investment turns on to another Curry. It's going to be everybody off a spawn. That's 3 in a row. He's on a Merciless, makes that 4, make it 5, just keep going. He's not going to stop, even trying to go for the wall bangs and expecting players coming through that doorway inside the building. But what a great little spree there he goes on, and that's going to make sure that he's got a few more kill streaks going his way, his score streaks as well.
I mean, absolutely. That's the first time we've actually seen the claw invested into a respawn one. You see the devastating power of it, right? An energy-based weapon, so the bullets do refract and bounce off walls, and it essentially evaporates anything it touches. And you see the knowledge as well. Every single spawn was pre-fired on loop there by the claw, so they Quantic effectively had no chance. But as I said, that they do break through the front, and this is sort of crunch time right now. They need to get in, but Zuko cleaning up all of the trades back and forth, and now you see the equalizers back out from Gorn as he pushes out the mid-cut. Quantic in panic mode as the specialists are just on another planet for the side of NRW now, fighting streak after streak after streak with this utility investment, and you can see they don't stand a chance as he comes flying in with the equalizers too, just evaporated. Now spawning them out towards that back right wall run. The pistol invested. It looks like the body shots are about to come in as well from the side of Gon, and why not? When you're up 207 to 48, it is absolute domination from the side of NRW.
Yeah, exactly that. They're just showing why they're here and why they made it to this position as they go, keeping things going again. Another triple in the feed. Likely we'll find a 4th. That's going to be almost the whole team dead in the feed at one time, but Hukutu does answer back with 1, but Zuko's going to pull that Predator missile. We are 25 seconds away from victory. It's not going to be here, but the next hardpoint could be closed out here for an NRW as they do find another 3 in the feed. And with the time remaining, I feel like Quantic have got the most difficult comeback of all comebacks if it's ever going to happen. But the way that things are going, NRW are looking to seal this out and finish map number 1 with a 100-point clip of Quantic by the looks of things.
I mean, absolutely. What needs to be noted, by the way, look at the score, 232.55. Zuko is on 37, and Lighty is on 35. In a game that's not even going that long, that is incredible production coming out of the side of NRW. On the flip side, it's only really Rukia. Everybody else struggling in the terms of slaying department, but Rukia is sort of fighting for his life here to keep this team going. And we see the investment out of the War Machine from Aussie. Gets a bloodthirsty, but not able to go any more than a 5. Gone back in the hill to reinforce. NRW closing it out, it looks like, as they get the pistols on deck to sort of put pressure, and they push out the back spawn. Nezuko, I believe that's the Annihilator in being invested as he clears the backside of the map, and it's all mid spawns for Quantic, and it's all she wrote here as they close this game out 250 to 71.
Closes out with Annihilator shots as well. That's total annihilation of the map for sure as NRW International take a 250 to 71, I think it was at the end there. That was that quick. It was, yeah, a quick and outrageous start, and pretty much putting your foot down and say, look, this is what we're here to do, and we're here to be part of this competition and go all the distance, because yeah, we'll chuck that scoreboard up, ladies and gents. We'll get to see the massive score difference there. Zuko, massive, 43 and 20. Unbelievable amount of damage and the amount of kills in that lobby. Likely not far behind as well with 39 and 17 kills. They too were just going on spree after spree after spree. It is a phenomenal performance from the guys of NRW International. Rookie, like you says, was trying to get the team back into things. He was one of the outright slayers on their side, but sadly Hukatu was just not able to get over the double figures. He was just getting absolutely slayed every single time he came into that respawn. It felt like he didn't get the chance to even get a gun up, and it was found out already. But that's what happens when you come up against equalizers, death machines, war machines, everything that you can ask. Even that kitchen sink, like you mentioned, it was just everything thrown at them as they were coming up for spawn.
Yeah, I mean, it was just complete suffocation tactic, right? It was build a 100-point lead as fast as you can, playing some fundamentals, and then just put your foot on the gas and don't let off. And a map like Combine as well, as I mentioned previously when we watched this match, you don't have to play the map specifically correct in terms of hardpoint, because you might spawn out, but if you've got a grenade launcher that can get a 5-piece in one doorway, just walk through the doorway and blow them all up, and you're looking pretty, no matter how correct the other team is playing. The investments just need to come in, and the map will just open up for you, and that's the advantage you bring yourself from building such a sort of a dominant lead early on.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we'll get on into a different game mode. It's going to be Search and Destroy, and Quantic, we said, haven't been the strongest and admit that they are not the best when it comes to hardpoint side of things. So can they change things around, shift that momentum a little bit in their favour, and see if they can kind of get at least a map away from that NRW International to stop it being a 3-0 if that was going to be the case, because the way that they've started off, they're definitely looking to show off their skill and abilities going forward. It is going to be Tunisia. It's going to be the first time I've seen it. It's going to be the first time you've seen it, Avo. It is just screenshots and little video pickets that we have seen prior to the game going in, so it's going to be a learning curve for us, casting over it, but I'm sure at Search and Destroy, thankfully, we'll get to see it a little bit slower pace, and we're not just calling left, right and centre what's happening. So that's going to be the best part about it. We'll get into it, and we'll get into that map number 2, where NRW International have already showed some dominance in respawn. Can they do the exact same going into Search and Destroy? This could be down to who starts off as well on the attack or defensive side, because as we mentioned prior to this multiple times, if you're new to COD Mobile, it is 6 rounds before you switch sides. So your attack or defense for 6 rounds at least before you change over. So you could already go down 6-0 in the first set, and then you've got to try and do the exact same on the way back and come back from it. It's very difficult.
I mean, very difficult indeed. You can see this is the way this map's spread out. It's almost like a standoff in the middle of the map. And it looks like Quantic have left the bomb in the spawn. I don't know if this is an accident as the shotgun comes in here from the side of Gom. He will get found by Aussie though. Nice bait and switch coming in, but Aussie does get traded. Nox answers back as well. It looks like potentially this was on purpose. Quantic have left the bomb in the spawn and have worked the map in a line to try and get a pick, and they're going to react off of that pick, but lightly with a quick scope nearly finds the second onto the bomb carrier, but Zuko will answer back with a sniper of his own there. And now you can see this is the danger of leaving the bomb in spawn, wrapping back to get it. You open up a man advantage scenario for sort of NRW to retake a bomb site, and as we saw in first map, you give these guys man advantage, and you're going to be struggling.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Quantic started off with a man advantage. They've all of a sudden it's shifted the other direction. Nrw with the advantage, but they've got clear of A zone, so Quantic are going to get the bomb down. It's going to be a 3 versus 2 retake here for Nrw International, but they're going to find out that knowledge now as that bomb is down and start to converge on towards that A point. First pick is crucial here if you're Quantic and you want to win on this first round here, just to kind of get yourself into a good start. And there you go, there's one. He finds 2, likely it will fall next, and now you're in a 2 versus 1. Zuko, what has he got? He'll answer to 1. Can he find Rookie? There's plenty of time on that clock, but he's lying down, reloading, and Rookie will come round at the worst time for him and finish him off, and that will make sure that Quantic do take the round.
I mean, absolutely, and Quantic's talisman from the first map, right? Rookie, the only one that was really sort of progressing on the map for them, finds 3 big kills there. Great play, playing the off angle below the head glitch. And from looking at this map first glance, it's very sort of Counter-Strike-esque. You've got that big middle open area, kind of reminds me of Mirage almost, a nice open mid-map. And then you've got the 2 bomb sites sort of surrounded by buildings and height advantage. And we'll see how Quantic elect to play the defense. It's a full send stack towards that B bomb site. Nox getting very aggressive with the USS 9, finds 2, but lightly finds Rukia in the middle of the map with the pistol. So that's a big kill there, shutting down Quantic's sort of lead man here. But it's still numbers advantage. As I say that though, lightly with a sniper, finds the next pick onto Nox. And we just need to see some better conversion here from the side of Quantic on these numbers advantages, because they're letting it get very close lightly with another pick in the round. That sniper on point. And we've seen an iron sight sniper from the side of Aussie here. Some very, very different classes coming in from both these European sides. He's got the angle there onto Zuko, but you can see it's sort of become a standoff now, but Zuko with a sniper finds it, and gets the hit marker onto the last play, goes for the wall bang, not going to be able to connect. The boxing gloves out, switches to the SMG, going to push very aggressive now. So Aussie finds 1, but can't find the second. Zuko cleans him up there. And again, Quantic, they're getting these bloods, they're working the rounds, they seem to have the strategy on deck when it comes to search and destroy, but it's just a conversion right now. They get looking a bit loose in the sort of mid-round.
Yeah, definitely. When you get that advantage, you want to kind of make use of it. One of the other players pushed out too far a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was traded back, and you see the quick scopes coming in. Zico finding plenty of kills with that. He gets another hit marker with a wee jump shot, but he's not going to find the kill yet. Still 5 versus 5 attacking once again for the Quantic side, as Hokuto does get knowledge of one player gets him wake, but Con will manage to get out of trouble and not take that too much damage to fall and not be that first member dead for the Nrw International side. But as it stands, it's a very slower start off here. We've got players split across the map everywhere, and the bomb is still down here if you're Quantic. They've not done what they've done, the same as the first round start.
Yeah, it's sort of a spread. They're playing to sort of bait that NRW aggression, but when they don't give you the aggression, Light rips your head off with the sniper, and now this is where you're in real trouble, because there's only a minute left on the clock. You now have to start forcing, as I said, the Aussie with a sniper of his own finds 1. The trade comes in, though, as Nox trades to Kiri, going to make it numbers advantage. I was about to say to Quantic, but Lighty with the sniper finds another pick to make it a 3 versus 2, and now Quantic have to back all the way up to get the bomb, and they have to do a very late retake now onto the A-bomb.
Yeah, exactly that. You're going to have Zuko sitting back in A, actually starting to make a move around. There's 2 players of Quantic coming to converge towards that A zone. 2 of the other players of International are going towards the B bomb to just to clear every single lane possible. And as you see Rookie carrying his bomb, he's going to be the one trying to make sure that there's spaces, but both of them are going to be getting towards A at the same time, and there's already going to be 2 NRW players just outside that A side, so when they do start to get in towards that A zone, they will be spotted. Con though will get sniped by Rukia, and they'll take it to a 2 versus 2. Zuko goes for a quick scope of his own. He'll find Rukia on trade, and now you're in a 2 versus 1. Quantic are very much at a disadvantage once again, and they will fall. Nrw International will take a second defense.
Yeah, they're just getting picked apart. Quantic, when they play that map spread, you're relying so heavily on an early blood, and NRW just aren't giving you anything. They're sitting back. They've got 2-3 snipers out. They're very, very happy to go and play for the cross snipes and challenge the Quantic snipers. But you can see now, we've gone for another adjustment from the side of Quantic. There was a B hit last time. It isn't it? Complete A stack. Utility comes flying over, backing up all of the players on the side of NRW into their spawn. Will we see a push out? I believe that is a smoke grenade dropped into the A bomb. It looks like it potentially, again, looking to try and bait that early aggression. Trying to see if Gonyo gets a little bit too confident with that shotgun. Going to try and outrange him, but look at the pinch coming in. there from the side of NRW. That's number 4 on a very long pitch. But it's a collateral coming out of Zuko into the top area. Now we have a shotgun kill from Gon. Max answers back, but it's all gone wrong here for the side of Quantic as Lighty snipes him out. It's all on Akuta in a 1 versus 4. The pinch is coming in as well. He has nothing going for him. And a collateral snipe coming in there into that top scaffolding area. It looks like a palace. I might start calling it palace. I'm getting Mirage vibes all over. It's looking like Simple on the side of NRW, sniping his way into the palace side of the map. And it's now 3 to the good for NRW.
Yeah. If you're Quantic like that, you're sending 5 man in one place in one direction. There is that chance of collapse happening, and you see just that. International finding the collapse instantaneously, giving them the 2-man advantage. Gone once again. Has already got heated back with that shotgun, but it gets traded out by Rukia. Nox will find another one, and they've got the man advantage once again here if you're Quantic. But we've seen how many times this has happened, and it's been flipped on its head. Nrw International, though, will still have plenty of time here. They know that there's more of the players of Quantic around that site of A, and the bomb has now been planted, so therefore they get even more knowledge, and Sakuta will come around the corner, find Aussie, and now you're down to 2 versus 3. NRW, can't they hold this defense? Can they get that reset? No, Nox is around the corner, ready for Curry, and now it's all down to Sakuta with that snipe. Oh,
Managed to find an SMG as well, actually. He's got both in the pockets. He finds one, can't snap and trade the others. So finally, we see a conversion from aggression. Quantic this time, they sort of went, you know what, we're done sitting back. Let's take it to you. Gon is going to inevitably find one in the smoke with a shotgun, but as long as you trade him out quickly, you stop the side of NRW rotating over as they did before, and you're able to get some site control. But looks like we're back again to the drop the bomb in the spawn and try and get a pick. We're seeing a lot of the Quantic strat coming out here, but we're not seeing much conversion. And NRW seem to be completely okay with this.
I mean, the one bonus you have of it is you're not too many maps rounds down, which is a bonus. You're 3-2. You could tie it up here going into the switch around, and you'll be on that defense if you're Quantic. But hopefully you want to try and win this attack and give yourself more of an opportunity in defense. But as it starts, a very slow stalemate position as we stand. Like I said, it's the same as they have done multiple rounds where they've left that bomb in the back. Lately, though, is the player. Do you expect to find Snipes? And he does do so on towards Max. Now they go and rotate towards that bomb and have rotated all 4 members going round towards that A bomb site, where there is only going to be 2 players of NRW International at the moment, as the other players will wrap around B to get information and make sure that that bomb site is clear.
But it's a great nade coming from Lighty. I said if all 2 players you wouldn't want there, it is going to be Lighty and Zuko with the snipes. Just such hard angles to clear when you have a sniper on deck, and even harder when you get a pre-nade dash right on your dish coming out that top doorway. And look at the angle.
Oh, that nade is...
Aussie right there. And he goes in with the pistol and finds a second as well. He's going for the third. He's going for montage clips here. But eventually the trades will come in, and you just see how horrible that angle is to peek. And he had a nade in his hand. He did not expect the off angle from the sniper from the side of Lighty, but absolutely terrible bomb set to come in late to, and right now we need to see sort of adjustments here on the defense from Quantic. But you know, as you said, they do have 2 rounds to their name. It's not inevitable. It's not an impossible comeback to make. As we see the defense now coming from Quantic, it's going to be all-out aggression for NRW towards A. Tons of utility, towards B. Tons of utility getting thrown at Max, trying to back the sniper up out of position, and they've successfully done that on the bomb site. It looked like it might be a rush plan here. Very different offense from the side of NRW.
100%, a very fast-paced movement towards that B bomb site. They also get the bomb planted without losing too many members. Rukia does find Zuko. There is a trade back there. Sakuta will find Max and manages to scare off another member of Quantic as they get around. But with the bomb sites, there's going to be a wrap around here coming, and if Curry gets his position, he can find one. As he does do so, does get traded out. Sakuta will find the other. It is a 3 versus 2. Make it a 3 versus 1 as Rukia is left with all to do now. 17 seconds to finish that bomb, but Lighty's around the corner, machine pistol, and that will be another round on the board for NRW International, who are now only 2 rounds away from map number 2 win. Target is 70 here in COD Mobile, and they're looking good for it so far as NRW International with Lighty with that sniper in hand. You just have to shut him down. If he's still alive on that map, you can expect him to close this out for the side of NRW International as they are changing their strategy on this attacking round this time round.
I absolutely love it, right? Lighty is on fire with the sniper right now. So what do? Yo, Lighty, watch down mid. We're going to run it down. underneath your sniper, and you see the side there. As soon as they peek him in mid, they don't want any of that. They know he's not missing right now. They're not going to give him a pick, and you just look how it opens up the map for that mid hit with the bomb, and it's going to give them two different options. They can either cut to A or cut to B. And it looks like number 4, that is Kiri, going to be cutting towards the B bomb site, looking to find some information. He's going to get a free pick there on Nrw. It's a great, well-worked round, but he's going to get traded. Wow, a jumping quick scope out of Max to trade him into the back of the B bomb site. But again, they have so much real estate around mid-map here. Because of Lighty's dominance with the sniper, they can just adjust very quickly. Going to be rotating towards to the barrel area, towards the A bomb. Let's see how they elected to sort of break this hard bomb site here. But as I say, that Lighty is going to rip Akuta's head off with the sniper, and apparently that's how you do it, right? Just get Lighty, send him in, rip someone's head off, and work from there. But Nox and Aussie will answer back, and it's going to be a 3 versus 2 now. But Lighty's still alive. There's definitely a chance in this round.
Oh yeah, definitely still a chance here. 3 versus 2, but Quantic finding the quick 2 actually gives this round a little bit more in their favour. The bomb still has 30 seconds to be placed, and yeah, not able to get there. Nox and Max will combine one after the other, and Quantic will add another round on the board and close that gap by only another 1. But there's only 2 difference. There's still an opportunity for Quantic as long as they keep them rounds like that and they're working in their favour. Like I said, Lighty was that centre map, watching right down the centre, finding picks every single time. You just got to make sure you don't look that way. You don't get crossed in the middle of the map. Lighty is already picked off straight off the rip there as Max will find him. That's going to be the advantage that Quantic might need, but Rookie will be traded out to make it a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, the early pick there of the sniper advantage onto Lighty was great, but Rookie are getting very aggressive. And of course, unlucky as it is, you run around the corner into Gon's shotgun, and that's going to open up the B bomb site again. Max are just holding the push through as the rest of Quantic elect for the wrap, the full map retake. Oh, it looks like I might have been a hit marker there. He's backed up even further into his spawn, but it is to enable this pinch through the middle of the map. We see now the side of Nrw International, they spread it, the map vertically, and it's all going to come down to these initial gunfights.
Yeah, you're going to see player number 4 of Nox finding one around the corner, but then his full team will fall and disintegrate right behind him as now he's left all alone. 25 seconds. What does Nox do here? Looks like he's going right around a different wrap, going for high ground at this moment in time, but 18 seconds. He's got to try and find all 3 members that remain. He can't find any of them. Sakuta is round the corner waiting with that sniper, and that is 1 round away from winning round number 2 here in the Search and Destroy. As Nrw International going to close it out here, is Quantic going to be able to find a little bit of a comeback, because it's definitely needed on the cards here for Quantic. It is not looking good at this moment in time, and Lighty now on 15 kills in this lobby so far. He's looking to add more before this game is out, but they're all full pushing straight towards A. Nades, trophy systems all being set up that way. There's only 2 members of Quantic around that corner, and are they going to find a pick? Gon will find one, Aussie will find Sakuta, 1 for 1. Gon finds another with that shotgun though. There's an opportunity to close things out. Kiri finds Rookie. All of a sudden you're in a 4 versus 2. Quantic looking like this round and might well and truly be over, as now it's all down to Nox. He is the slayer so far for this side in S&D. He does find one. There's a chance to find a second. He does, but Lighty, if anybody's going to close it out, it's going to be him. He gets the snipe. And Nrw International will take that win. 7 rounds to 3. And a 2-0 so far in the overall quarterfinals position. The way that they're playing, the way that they're shooting and gunning, this control might be a very difficult task here now for Quantic. It's going to be a reverse sweep needed on the cards, and yeah, it's going to be a tough task and an uphill battle from here.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, Lighty ripping 17 with a sniper in the map in only, what, 10 rounds? That is incredible production coming out of your sniper player on a map like that. And it was very sort of, like I said, I mentioned it in the map, it felt very sort of Counter-Strikey, right? As you can see, 17 and 6 out of Lighty. On the other side, Nox 12 and 8 with 1 assist is a very, very respectable performance. But it just seemed to be the rest of Quantic fell off. Akuta having another rough map here. He's really struggling to get going in this series against the sort of aggression coming out of NRW. But back to my point, it's very sort of Counter-Strike-esque, right? You've got a large open mid lane controlled by snipers, and then 2 sort of intricate bomb sites, lots of utility needed to sort of close gaps. And I feel like NRW, when it got to that sort of crunch time, when it got to making the aggression happen, their utility was a little bit better. Their aggression was a little bit better, and the reaction and the sort of mid-round adjustments were just a little bit better than the side of Quantic. And I mean, Gon was just lurking around every corner with a shotgun whenever someone tried to counterplay him, so that works too.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'd be the person to do. Just sitting around the corner waiting with that shotgun, making sure I can hit my shots, because anything at range and anything at distance, I'd probably be wavy. I mean, even in a close range, they're probably just the exact same, but gone, done exactly what you had to do, pushed up, good control of the map and getting a perfect spot, just to expect players coming around the corner at speed, or even if they're just trying to sneak around, you've got that advantage with shotgun. You just need that one shot, crisp and clean and clinical, and there we go, you'll find the kill. And yeah, a player like Lighty as well with that sniper, I mean, he's the player you've got to watch out for. If you're seeing that happen in the kill feed, finding one, finding two, one after the other, don't go down the same way. Surely you've got to try and change your scenario, change your plans. Quantic's attacking rounds were very similar-esque for the most part. They kept leaving that bomb at the start, and then they were going around trying to get a pick, wasn't coming, then they had to rotate back, got caught out on the rotations, and before you know it, they were down members, and just they couldn't close out when they had the opportunity. When it felt like they had the advantage, when they did eventually find the first pick, it would just fall apart eventually.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What I've got to give credit to NRW, right, is the first map in Combine is such a fast and aggressive map. You go into the S&D, what do? You pull out two snipers and you just pull the brakes. And you can see, I believe Quantic's strategy was, oh, they just clubbed us, they're going to be running at us, right? So we're going to play map spread and catch people playing over-aggressive off of the confidence from map 1. But NRW were giving them nothing. They were taking half map control and cutting it in. And enough about the S&D though, Mark. We're moving on to control. And this is a map we have both seen once. And this is going to be Takeoff, a super fast, frenetic map. Tons of play in game. And the side of Quantic are going to be struggling to match the pace of NRW if it does not come through soon. And we're going to look at Aussie pulling up the sniper, going for the cross knife straight away. Maybe this is one way to do it.
Maybe that is a way to start off, definitely. He's trying to take off straight away, but it's the international squad who are looking to try and take this off and land perfectly set up, ready in that semi-finals position. There's a couple of kills go back and forward so far. Control here, a wee bit of chance on towards A, but that was quite quickly shut down there as Lighty finds two in the feed once again, and keeping warm from that last round. There's going to be another added as well, as Gone will find the second, and then Zuko will be caught out and Gone next afterwards. But life-wise, International just got the advantage, but not looking to find too much from it. But Sakuta here can find all three members, and he does do so. All of a sudden, you've given yourself a 4-man advantage, and you're closing down the zone. There's a chance to push up that map and get them stuck in that devastating spawn trap.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time NRW seem to get, every time Quantic seem to get a little bit of real estate, someone in NRW comes up with a big play, whether it's Sakuta with 3, Lighty with 3. Now you've got Zuko in this spawn, trapping him in that visitor's center, but he is eventually traded out to big kill by Rukia. Max manages to slip the net and cause a little bit of disruption, which should allow his team to move up the map. But who else in position? Lighty with the Type 63 in hand, putting shots down range. He's going to be aiming to trap the players in spawn, but he can't do too much now as Sakuta and the crew find the trades 3 in the feed as they push towards the pit in the center of the map onto the 8 point, but only 13 seconds left and not a lot of lives. This has to be very clean now from Zero Quantic.
Yeah, it's very well shut down from NRW International, but they do break free, eventually get onto that zone, but that will be all three dead in the feed. NRW International now putting them back into that visitor center, and they are not visiting for long because we've got 2 more seconds, and that will be visiting time over with, as NRW International will take the run very strong with 0 ticks lost and a 1-0 advantage going into this next round. You're going to see them now looking for that attack, see what they can do this time around. Can they catch Quantic off guard? Can they get into that spawn trap over that side and just have one person capping zones? We're just about to see as nades will go back and forward from both sides straight off of the bat, but nothing traded out from it, nothing caught out, and no early kills yet.
It's looking like a bait though, the utility usage towards A and the 3-man flank towards B, and looks like Quantic have taken the bait as they let all 3 players rock up towards the B bomb site. Unfortunately, trades do come in, but as I say that, Kiri and Zuko combine with Gon to find 3, make it all 4 in the feed, and now we're in danger mode. The spawn trap could potentially be in, but again, Quantic lifeline, they manage to find 2 and cause a bit of disruption to that spawn trap. Lighty now investing at the death machine onto the A point, and that was the play, right? You bait A, you go towards B. If B doesn't work, as long as you're alive at A, you can stop that clock. And Lighty is stopping that clock and then some with the death machine. Absolutely ripping and tearing for the enemy spawn. 13 already. And now Kiri with the claw. And now we see what could be potentially so dangerous when you let an aggressive team like an RW get you on your heels.
Yeah, as soon as you build up towards these operator skills, and you can do that, Lighty in the back with the spawn, with that death machine, absolutely raining it down for every single player spawn, and then gave himself 2 ticks of progression towards A. But look at that domination in kills. It's 19 versus 8. Quantic are in very much an uphill battle. The A is captured as well, and now they give themselves even more chances to get on towards B, but they probably won't even need to do that. They'll probably finish it out in kills the way the Nrw International are using these machines and using all of their accessories, everything they could possibly bring it out here to find the kills. But now down to 4. Quantic is going to be all down to Max, Rukia and Hakuto to try and salvage something here, at least not give away all the ticks of progression just in case, because you never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of these rounds where you'd rather die than give them any ticks. And Rukia, knowing that, he just stood directly on that point with his VMP. He's going to find one, but the trades do eventually come in. A quick round from Nrw International. I believe outslaying by 20 kills in total in that round. And you just see it's the danger, right? You let somebody like Lighty work into your spawn, invest a specialist at the perfect time, and you're trapped in the blender for the entirety of the round. And he's almost, if you look, he's got 2 streaks, and he's working towards another death machine. As the Annihilator comes off spawn, wow, the confidence from Zuko pulling out cross map and ripping Max's head clean off his shoulders and pushing into the spawn, makes it 3 in a row. He's now building towards streaks. Predator missile invested, 3 down in the feed. They've only got to find Noct, who's managed to sneak to the A point, but as I said, this is the pit. You really don't want to be in there, but they're not even looking for him. They're playing for his team. They're making him have to do something, and now he does something, and he gets caught. And now, welcome to the blender. The visitor center spawn trap is in.
Yeah, exactly. That equalizer was invested, but didn't last long as they actually shut them down, thankfully. But Yuzuko's still in and around that zone. You've got player number 5, Sakuta, just sitting back, still trying to keep them back in that spawn. It's 25-14, but I feel like they need to punch their tickets now. If you're Nrw International, get the baggage and luggage checked in, because you're about to take off here and enter yourself into the semi-finals, unless that War Machine of Aussie can stop everything you're doing in action and just find a couple of good kills. We'll be traded out back and forward with 21 lives against 9. Nrw International are definitely sealing the deal here, unless something fantastic can come out here. Rookie with a Tempest finds 3. Oh, there's a chance. Can they slowly do this? 19 seconds left, though. They're not going to manage to get on any zone. Now, they've got on to B for a second. 1 player's there. They need to hold off with the players coming around, because there's too many players of Nrw coming off a spawn, going straight towards B. 5 players remaining, and this looks like this is all and truly done. The Sparrow's going to be invested from Max, but the way that things have gone here with 12 versus 4, I feel like might have a chance, but it's very, very slim pickings at the end here. 2 more lives, Max. 1. Go on, Sparrow kill to win it. 10 players, that's it. Keep going. He's got the opportunity. He's got 9 more to find. Can he do it? No, he can't. He's shut down. And ladies and gentlemen, the tickets are well and truly punched. Nrw International will be your first team going to that semi-finals. And who they'll be facing, we'll have to find out very soon. But what a performance. A 3-0 in that best of 5, and an absolute domination through all 3 maps, Avo.
I mean, absolutely. Sakura, we saw in the interview package, came in with full confidence. And I mean, when your team's playing that lights out, you deserve to have that confidence. That's 9 straight maps now in this tournament for Nrw International. And to be frank, none of them have even looked close. So it's one of them ones where who is going to stop this unstoppable juggernaut as Lighty having another stand-up performance, 23-10. Let me tell you, what a series coming in from Lighty. That is an MVP-like performance if I've ever seen one. On the side of Quantic, it's Rukia again. You saw that big play at the end with the Tempest, finding multiple kills and trying to chain as much as he could. I think he even managed to build 2 sets of streaks, but it's just a little too late from the side of Quantic. Akua really struggled to get going in this series, but sometimes that's what happens. You come against a hot team on a very quick map set, and you could just struggle to get going, especially as one of those sort of slower tertiary AR players. But let's not take anything away from Nrw. It was clinical, it was cutthroat, and they very well deserved to be in the semi-finals.
Yeah, they were favourites going into this, and you can see exactly why. Quantic, you will live to come back to another UCE tournament very soon, but unfortunately for now, that is the end of the road for you guys. Nrw International go on to that semi-finals, who, remember, all of these are during this full week of action, so you're going to see the second set of quarterfinals tomorrow, then the rest of it will be semi-finals and finals Thursday and Friday. Lots of action to be watched here for COD Mobile. Speaking of which, there is another game coming up next. It's going to be Ace versus Paradox. This one will be an absolute masterclass between these two sides. We've seen the interview from Ace, and we can see how confident they are going into this one. They're on a 6-0 spree as well. They're looking great, and they're wanting to try and continue this here against Paradox, but it is an African side versus an EU side. Can Paradox hold it up for their African nation? We'll have to wait and see. We'll go to a break for now, and we'll catch you after that.
Fahim and Inferno, I might know them better than you do, even though you're their coach. But tell me more about the 3 Garena players that came into Europe and or, you know, making Europe struggle a little bit, at least in their own thoughts.
Well, let's talk about, first of all, let's put Badman last, because everybody knows Badman quite a lot now. Let's get into Crush. Crush is a notable shotgun player back in the OG days of like Call of Duty Mobile back in 2021. Did retire quite a lot for a long time, and people question me, you know, why Crush, why this, why that, and at the back end I had a long conversation with him that, yo, bro, a lot of people are doubting you. I believe in you. You got the time to spend and invest your time into, like, you know, working yourself. We'll work on it. Steve, on the contrary, is more of like this guy that has been neglected by a lot of these teams, coming back to like what soured Esports, you know, specifically SC, when just safe to say, you know, he got, I guess, replaced by Whoopi. But I'm not too certain what was the thought process behind that. But I thought Steve was a very remarkable player back in Stellar Esports, and that was when I was like, you know what, I think Steve is such a good pickup overall. Badman is a player that I've been eyeing out for like the last 2 to 3 years. I think 2 years to be exact. Badman was just something that I was like looking at and told myself that, yo, this guy could be the next BJ. Like, exactly the same play style, exactly the same HUD, exactly the same philosophy in regards to playing, you know, SMG heavy the role. And guess what? That guy is able to turn up, and he has been able to provide the slaying that team needs, you know, especially in the pacing of a game of like Hardpoint.
Well, now I know quite a lot about them as well. I saw them play tonight. To be fair, I was told the roster is rather new, so the players haven't been playing together for a very long time, and even when they were, the 3 Garena players were playing on very high ping because they didn't make it their way to Europe yet. Now they are in Europe, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even though you have not been around for a long while as a roster, your chemistry looked fairly well in what I saw, or in what I've seen rather, from the side of Ace. That being said, Warden, you guys are debuting in UCE, so you are not really in their rankings yet. In which spot would you see your team if you were to judge, not by performance in UCE because you haven't had any, but by the performance overall?
Overall, across the I think all 4 groups, if I'm not mistaken, right?
We can focus on just Europe if you want. Just European.
Okay, just Europe. I feel like surely I think we're number 2 right now, for sure.
Who's number 1?
I gotta give it to my boys, Animus. I respect them quite a lot, especially Marvel, you know, Nrw, Skatella. I mean, growing up into the Call of Duty mobile scene, I really looked up to them, and especially Marvel. Marvel is a very impactful player, and he can really control the pace of the game with his precision. Narcs, on the contrary, like a really, really strong player up front. So I really still have Animus, despite the fact that I did say, you know, I'm really confident to make it out to stage 5, even if there's 1 slot. My utmost respect really goes to Animus.
Yeah, they've been around for quite a while. They have the chemistry going for themselves. They have a stacked roster as well, so it's gonna be fun watching you guys play against each other. I mean, you're not in the same group, obviously, but I hope you actually meet up. Also, maybe in the very grand final of this tournament, that would actually make the headlines. I can't even speak. But yeah, Warden, you are very experienced in multiple regions. You know Garena, you know Europe. I believe you've coached NA teams as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I want your opinion on this, and I think your opinion is the best that I can get out of anyone. Do you think, or rather, do you agree with the opinion of other people that say Europe is miles ahead of Africa, that they're not even a match?
I think it's pretty tough to call as of this moment. I feel like if you bring in the topic of like, bringing like instincts or paradox and put them in like a LAN event setting, I feel like they're going to be on par with like some of these European teams. I mean, overall, I don't think it's going to be a pretty easy gauge as well on like how strong Europe is, especially since the fact that I think the last time we saw Europe make it to the playoffs in the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship was back in 2022, and I think that was stamina. So I think Europe has a lot to prove overall, and more so over, I think Africa has nothing to lose because this is their first time here in the World Championship. And more so over, I mean, I've been dabbling along with like a lot of these like African teams, and I see a lot of great potential, really, really great people, especially for like instinct or like paradox. So I don't think it's that far, to be honest.
I actually agree with your opinion. I'm not as familiar as you are with all the other regions, but from what I've seen from Africa, I've had the pleasure to interview them as well. They look promising. And I think it's the take that EU is way better than Africa is in general is wrong. I totally agree with that one. Well, Warden, you are the only coach I actually get the chance to interview for this EACS, so I'm gonna ask you questions I haven't asked others. Can you walk us through and just tell me what exactly is your role as a coach? What do you do, and how do you keep improving the performance of your team? What Look, man, I'll be blunt. What does your typical evening look like?
So basically, like, I think a lot of people mistake like, what do you call this? Misconceive coaching as to being more of like this analytical genius. My sense of philosophy for coaching is just to learn the fundamentals of the game, look at how like the nature of the map goes around, look into how, like, let's say if crush spawns here, and if there's going to be an enemy here, where's going to be the next like possible spawn. So I personally, as a coach, I play the game regularly just to ensure that I'm keeping track of like the whole sense of like the game mechanics. And then what I try to do is that I look at the team and then look out for like what they eye out for, yada yada yada, and I ensure that they have a wider vision of just like how like in casting we got like play by plays and there's like color. I'm trying to explain to them the color of the game and what happens in this scenario when you do this. So my sense of ideation for coaching is to not really dominate them with like how I think of like how the game works, but more so over like teach them and make them smarter individually. Because regardless of like, if you was to tell them a lot of this analytical things about coaching, they're not really going to do anything. It's not really going to do too much if they can't really execute it. So that's why my primary focus is more of like conditioning and making the players smarter rather than giving them a lot of these preset strategies. So my main focal point or like goal for them is that they're going to be able to improvise within the game itself and then make their own strategy, all because of me trying to train them how to be smarter inside of the game itself.
That makes sense. One thing I haven't really understood though about coaching in a mobile game, how do you help players improve their aim?
Well, let's say let's take a look at the particular mechanic here for Call of Duty Mobile. Is that sliding? Sliding is let's say one of the best ways you can take gunfights. So one thing that I always like to monitor is that where do they put their crosshair when they slide? How often do they frail around with their crosshair? So on and so forth. Crosshair placement, I think it's pretty underrated for a mobile game. but it's very detrimental, especially when Call of Duty Mobile, and granted the current meta goes like the time to kill is really really fast. That slight adjustment that you need to put up with your crosshair placement is really really important, and it's just more about like having like your own routines as well. Even if you play like a PC game called like Counter-Strike, you have your own routine. You have to create your own like fads or trends on like how to set the tone for the condition.
Welcome back, everyone. We are live once again, and it's our second match of the quarterfinals is about to commence. It is going to be Ace up against Paradox, as you've already seen. A great phrase zero from Nrw International. They've already slotted their position into semi-finals. Who is going to be next? It's going to be EU versus Africa. Is it going to be Ace or is it going to be Paradox? Avo, these two teams are looking like they're very strong counterparts of their nations. Ace being absolutely phenomenal so far, 6-0. Paradox going 4-2 as things stand. But can they make the upset against this EU side?
It's going to be interesting, and I was sort of ushering the words I mentioned last time we had an EU African matchup planned. Anyway, is the one advantage you have as the African side, I suppose, is that these European teams do not get to play you. So you have the element, I guess, of surprise with the sort of gameplay being a little bit different, because I always say every region kind of has their own sort of methodology when it comes to Call of Duty, or their natural play style. Different regions play different paces, different speeds, different ideas, strategies, things like that. So Africa, being a nation that is relatively new to playing EACS, has the definite advantage of, if they paid enough attention, I suppose, they could go back and watch a lot of these teams play that are a repeat. For example, Quantic, obviously mentioned they were in quarterfinals before. Granted, maybe not the same team, but you can go back and sort of get an idea of, okay, this is what European teams like to do on these maps. This is how they play. This is how they set up. Well, let's just literally play the hard counter this. Let's use our style and just push it as hard as we can into like a counter. Whereas these EU teams are sort of learning as they go. They're coming into they're playing these African sides for the first time, and they're having to figure it out and adapt on the fly, which for some players can be very difficult, and for other players not so much, but it depends. Do you have 5 people that can very quickly adjust to a lot of different, I guess you could say, pressure on the map that you maybe not used to? It really comes down to it. But Ace being flawless on map count, I suppose adaptability probably is in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, probably is. But let's speak about the two tight sides anyway. Let's go and pull up that Paradox roster. Let's go see the team that will be representing one of the two African nations that is still alive and kicking in this tournament. And you're going to see Logan, Toxic, Danilo, Simpsy, and Darox. I have yet to see Paradox in action myself or cast it over them, but it'll be look to see if they can show a little bit of an upset here against Ace, who Warden, we were speaking to there, as you heard in that interview, is very, very confident. His side have got what it takes to go the distance, and their first task here is in this quarterfinals up against this roster here. So, speaking of their roster, let's go and have a look at that Ace side and chat us through this one, Avo.
So yeah, on the Ace side we have Crush, Badman, Sieve, Fahim, and Inferno. Now, Coach Warden did mention many times Crush, a bit of a veteran when it comes to COD Mobile. You mentioned the 2021 days where he was very shotgun heavy in the meta. Having sort of a veteran, having a backbone to your team that's got a lot of experience is very important in these deep tournament runs. And then we also had the sort of mention of Badman being this sort of prodigy, this SMG talent that's able to elevate his team and make big plays. When you pair a veteran mind with a up-and-coming sort of playmaker, you potentially have this synergy that's very, very hard to beat, as you see in many sort of big dynasty-level COD teams. You have the veterans in the back line and the up-and-comers in the front line, and it looks like Ace potentially has both parts.
Yeah, exactly. And if they work in cohesion with each other, they could be an absolutely unstoppable force. But the best of 5 that we're going to come up against, let's go show the maps and modes, as we will be going and kicking ourselves off with a wonderful Call of Duty map, and that is Slums Hardpoint. It's going to be phenomenal to watch Slums all over again. Brings me back to my youth, like that definitely does. But once again, we'll see Tunisia Search and Destroy, a takeoff control. And if we do get further into map 4, as we didn't last time, that's the Hacienda Hardpoint once again, and a firing range to close it out if we go all to map 5. But with Ace's form, is it anything like Nrw International? Are they going to be on that same start off where they just absolutely slam it from get-go, from map 1 all the way through to map 3? Or do we see a map being traded out here and Paradox finding a win on one of these 2 matches, or at least one of these first 3 matches? There's a chance of making it to at least map number 4. Both teams obviously played Hacienda and both played Fire on Range, which is later on in that setup. So I mean, that's going to be the hardest part, is they've not got the experience of any of these 3 matches against anybody in EACS 2025 so far anyway, but it's going to be fresh for them both against one another. So hopefully we'll see a good match at Avo.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, Slums is a map 1 pick. I'm assuming that's going to be the highest seeded team's pick in Ace. That screams to me that we play good COD. Like, we understand how to play COD, because Slums, a bit of an older map, coming from Black Ops 2 and Origins. It plays a little bit different to Combine, as you just saw. It's a lot more about positioning, a lot more about rotations, thinking ahead. Yes, you have the operator skills to be able to bail yourself out, but in a map like this, you can see there are so many power positions. There's P1, it's going to be scrappy around the fountain, but then you get to P2 and you have, you know, the back car heady, you have the dumpster heady on the hill, you have the stairs heady, the front of the hill, into P3, the junkyard. The entire hill is a head glitch, and it's all about flanking that statue to flip the spawns out. But as I say, Mark, it's an incredibly punishing map if you do not get it right. So this screams to me that Ace is saying, we're just going to play much better COD than you.
Yeah, fundamental COD is where it's at when it comes to a match like Slums, and as we kick ourselves off, it's a little bit of a longer start because it's such a distance, but PRL will find the first kill, followed by Badman. That's going to be 4 dead in the feed, and Ace have started off strong straight away into P1, finding a few good kills, and Simpsy, though, is answering back to try and keep it a little bit even here as he tries to get breaking in, and Paradox will get back in control of P1.
It's a very good break-off here from Paradox, actually. They immediately get out and they cause pressure on the side of Ace to start forcing in that P2 spawn trap. However, some members on Ace do actually manage to get out and cause split spawns to come in. Now it's going to get very chaotic for a sec here as Simpsy on the hill has to finesse his life. He's going to get challenged from multiple angles, reads the pressure very well coming in from the junkyard side of the map. And I don't know if I'm frozen, Mark. Yep. I believe that is a game crash, which is unfortunate. But we do get to rerun like, P1 again, so...
I just reconnected my call. I thought it was me at first. I was like, oh my god, I just reset. Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely a game freeze and a game start. But there we go. It was pretty even there, actually. It was a pretty good contest from both sides. There is a game still playing in the background. We're just trying to see if we can reconnect to that and get ourselves some action. Otherwise, we could be waiting around until that game is over, and then they'll tell us the scores. And sadly, we won't get to see how close this Slums will be. But fingers crossed, it will get started and we'll get back into it. So we'll see what production have to say about things, and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible, ladies and gents. Hopefully not too long as well.
I mean, yeah, not even COD Mobile is safe from CODcaster crashes, I suppose, right? It's been several years of this stuff for us now, but yeah, no, one thing I want to point out is actually, well, as I mentioned, right, Ace come out with this sort of traditional break-off. Paradox go, actually, let's try something a bit crazy, right? We had P2 side, how about we give it up and force you in that low spawn trap all the way in the bottom of the map? That's the type of sort of flair and adaptation that a team from a different region can bring. And it presented itself in an awkward scenario with split spawns and a tied P1. However, we do not know how it's going. If I was to have a guess, let me throw a coin in the well. I reckon Ace are up about 35 points going into P4 by now.
Well, I'll say I bet if not, because turns out there's somebody has been disqualified for using a good old UAV in the lobby. So yeah, that's a very unfortunate start. Getting into things, you build a wee score streak, you've got a UAV, you slash it up, and then all of a sudden you get disqualified and the teams lose out. So that's Ace, our number 1 seed, will be disqualified. So we'll wait and see if we're going to be getting a reset or if we're just going to go straight into map 2. We will find out about that. They're having a few issues back and forward trying to sort of resolve this with the feed and such like. So I think we're probably safe to say we'll send it to a wee short break here just before we get everything organised and set back up, and we'll be back to you between Ace versus Paradox.
Of your aim, and that's why in some way, like coming back to my point of like how I work as a coach, it's not more about like every single day we VOD, every single day we do coaching. It's just more about like there's gonna be some certain days where you got to devote yourself into playing the game, just do some conditioning to enhance your aim.
Sounds good. I mean, you make it sound easy. I highly doubt it's that easy, but thank you very much, Warden. Thank you very much for joining me at such an hour for you, and thank you for answering all my questions. Before I let you go, though, you have the chance to say whatever you wish to everybody watching live right now.
Well, thank you guys so much for supporting Ace, and best believe we're going to be able to exceed your expectations even more as time passes by. Definitely gonna crank up the whole competition here for this very tournament, and obviously a huge love and shout out to the players, especially back then when they were in the Philippines. The Crush, Steve, and Badman, devoting their time, staying up late to make sure that the whole team gets in going, and much love as well to our organization and this tournament for making this whole thing possible.
That, ladies and gents, is or there was Warden from Ace Gaming. Thank you very much, Warden. Thank you very much to you guys for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of the action and EACS. Good evening, ladies and gents in chat. I have the pleasure to be joined by one of the players of Nrw International, Sakuta. Sakuta, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. And you?
I'm doing perfectly fine myself. Thank you very much for asking. And it's indeed great to hear that you're doing fine as well. Sakuta, your team has a roster that should be well known to everybody who's familiar with the European competitive scene of Call of Duty Mobile. However, the team name, Nrw International, doesn't necessarily ring any bells. So can you tell me a bit more about the history of this team?
Yeah, sure. The history is that we are all players from Elements, and the rest we found from the word chat, like XE, Bobo, and the rest. We just found there from, the different word chat zones.
Interesting.
There's nothing behind it.
How long has the team been around? Like, how long have you been playing as a roster together?
I think 1 week before the tournament, we made the roster.
Interesting. So a very new roster. How's the chemistry going so far?
It's perfect. We all iPad. We don't need any chemistry. We just beat everyone.
All right. I like the confidence. Well, the team might be new, but the players are very experienced. So that is a great start. I want to go back to the qualifiers for EACS, though. You guys had to face Animus in round number 2 of the upper bracket. And to be fair, that matchup was a very close one, even though the score says it was a 2-0. The hardpoint game.
There we go, ladies and gents. As you can see, we are seeing a different map. It is Tunisia return. We're back to the game, though, but it is going to be Search and Destroy this time round, where Paradox, because of the ace disqualification, means they are 1-0 to the good. The disadvantage that now Ace are going to have to face, the strong mental they're going to need now, is it's definitely going to map number 4, and we're going to see Hacienda guaranteed hardpoint. Let's get into the Search and Destroy, though, Avo. Let's see where these teams can do it. Is the mental going to be affected by Ace straight off, as they'll be on that defensive side from the get-go for the first 6 rounds?
Absolutely. I mean, these early rounds are going to be crucial here for the side of Ace. I mean, you can laugh it off all you want, but giving away a map in a bracket, we do not have a lifeline, is very, very poor from the side of Ace with the UAV inbound, and you see Logan picking up the pieces, fighting first blood for the side of Paradox. And the Paradox right here, if you can take an early advantage in this game, you can really put it on the pressure on the mentals on the side of Ace, being down 0-1 due to a mistake, and then suddenly you're in a hole in map 2. You could think, where's it all gone wrong? And all of a sudden it could be 2 maps to the good very quickly for the side of Paradox, as they do find a second kill. Trophy systems are cleared and the bomb is being worked here, but the sniper in from Steve doesn't find anything. It's Logan again shredding right now with 2 in the round. Crush going to pick up the sniper, look for the pick, won't see the person on the bomb. We're cleaned up by Darox, and it's all she wrote, it looks like, unless PLR has something wonderful in the locker room.
So far, it's a clean sweep as well of the side. There we go. One will eventually be traded out, but yeah, a very strong first round, opening round here for Paradox. And you don't want to go down too many. Like you says, that mental could be totally affected. You could potentially be going 2-0 down, all through your own fault. Sadly enough, that's just how things go if you pull it out. And the other team are not willing to go. Well, you know what? That's the advantage that we want. It will give us this extra advantage going into the S&D, where they could potentially take it away from Ace, as they have looked quite pretty dominant in that first round. obviously has the attack inside. We don't really see them winning so many rounds as the last series showed us, but Fahim will open up the kills here in this second round, and Logan will be the first to fall.
Yeah, you're looking like a sort of a map spread here from the side of Paradox, but it is getting slowly picked apart. But as I say, those Simpsy out of nowhere finds two, Darks finds one, Crush can only answer back with a single trade, then it's all on to Badman in a 1 versus 2 scenario. A little bit of a pre-fire there, looks like a bit of a panic shot coming in from Simpsy, but the bomb now will be dropped onto the B-bomb site. And let's see how Badman elects to retake this 1v2.
If anybody wants us to clutch up the way, it is Badman, and he will do just that. 1-2 double kill and plenty of time on the clock. He will tie things up here in the search and destroy. And like I says, Badman is one of the players you can't count out of it when it comes to clutching up for his side, and he's just done that. It wasn't the ace, it wasn't fantastic, and it wasn't the first place finish that they wanted, but it's the first point on the board, and that's all that matters for them, to make sure that Paradox don't start running away with it and putting them under so much pressure.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a well-played, well-timed flank there from Badman. He catches one player in transition, uses the knowledge of where that player was looking to make a very quick assumption of where the next player was, reads it well, no shots missed, and it's cleaned up here. But the offense and the defense have read each other perfectly. It is a 5v5 here onto the A bomb site, sniping the angle. Steve's going to find one, and a shot from PLR as well, and a hit marker through the smoke as Badman cleans it up. PLR finds the next one, and it's all on Logan. 1 versus 3. This round is erupted very fast, but Logan gets away. He finds one. He's going to reposition. You're going to catch one. Sprinting Crush going to find the second as well. Logan with a 1 versus 3. And how's your mental, Ace? How is your mental?
What am I saying here? These snipes to open the round for Ace were phenomenal. The 5v5 start, and then all of a sudden Paradox just clean it up and put yourself back in the lead. It is going to be a really, really interesting matchup between these two sides, as we've already witnessed in these first 3 rounds of Search and Destroy. It's going to go back and forward until the very, very bitter end. Remember, you have to win by a clear 2. Always as well, and that's going to be really interesting. But it's one back and forward for him, though. Will find the double. That's going to give them the man advantage, make that 2-man advantage. But Toxic will find one, and it's going to be all down to Darux. He's found one. Can he find a second? Nope. 2 players will jump down. Badman and Save. Make sure that is cleared up, and it will be a 2-2 going into round number 5. This is, like I said, it could be back and forward each round.
Absolutely. You're starting to see that change in play from the region now. Africa bringing out a lot of different looks on this map from what we saw just previously in the best of 5 ago. You're seeing so many different sort of looks and ideas and strategies, and it's going to be tough on Acer. They're going to have to react on the fly, and so far they've done a decent enough job trading rounds 2 in the good, but we know how defensive heavy this map can be, so we need a little bit more of a clear win here for Ace.
Yeah, you definitely do. You can see by the minimap as things start, where they stand, where they position themselves, the trophy systems being sent out, and all of the accessories that you need in those nades, the smokes, all getting set in the right positions. Nothing found, but Fahim will open up the kills, and all of a sudden they've got themselves in a man advantage. That means that the rotation has to be coming in here from Paradox. You're going to have Toxic just staying around that A zone for now, as the bomb carrier is kind of middle map, looking around a different position. He's carrying an SMG at range as well with that bomb. There must be a strategy of why they sit back in the back, or they leave the bomb at the very end for now. Maybe it's just they don't want to lose the bomb carrier position in a position where they're being watched over. That's maybe what the reasoning behind it is. But Save the jump and snipe, and Danilo is finished off. 4 versus 3 in favour of Ace. Make it a 4 versus 2, as there's a trade back and forward, all down to Logan, but not for long, as Ace will take the lead for the first time in the Search and Destroy.
I do feel like the idea of leaving the bomb in spawn stems from the fact that would be so dangerous to drop the bomb on a cross. Getting hit on an early cross snipe with the bomb and leaving it in the wide open for a sniper with a hard aim is probably something you don't really want to do. So I'd imagine that's the idea behind it, right? Let's keep the bomb in spawn, so if any of us get picked, we still have a chance to wrap and retake. But as I say, this Badman getting aggressive. First time I've seen this in this map. He gets aggressive onto the barrels area, finds one, but will get traded by Dino. But Crush right there for the trade, but no. Dino with the snipe, the quick scope is golden, and does give numbers advantage now to the side of Paradox. But for him, he's been very sneaky towards the B-bomb. He's now going to try the same thing again, but on the opposite side. But look at Paradox. It feels like they've read this pressure very well. They've sort of baited the aggression in. They're going to go for a very late wrap towards B, and it's going to be all on Sieve on the late rotation.
Man, I feel like they really need to bring snipers back into normal Call of Duty. It just makes for such interesting search and destroy rounds. And there you go, Steve with the sniper once again. We'll find Logan making that movement across. He's made it a 3 versus 3 scenario. PRL is waiting for another opportunity to find another snipe. The smoke does come out. The bomb will get planted there. And Simpsy, as soon as the bomb's planted, he gets dropped. And there we go. Danilo will answer back with a snipe. Then PRL will answer back with that one. And all of a sudden, it's Darox versus Fahim and PLR. But Fahim will find Darox, and that will be the round. Ace now 2-round lead going into the switch. Now it's a chance for them as the attackers. Can they start winning this and get this in their possession?
Yeah, we shall see what Paradox elect to do now. Switching sides to defense. Let's see how Ace select players. I expect a bit more straight up strategy here from the side of Ace. You can see the bomb moving towards that A bomb site, and the snipers going towards B, electing to try and catch somebody on an early aggressive push. On the side of Paradox, though, they are going for a full map spread. Not really trying to commit numbers too much, trying to feel each other out here. Both teams' nades and equipment going over, but the bomb still safe in the back of the spawn. You can see they really don't like to send that bomb forward on this map. But let's see here. Looks like Ace are electing to commit towards this A bomb site.
PLR's in a great position here, just wrapping around player for 5. And like I said, he does find that first pick on towards Simpsy. But then Toxic Logan will find another player each. For Fahim and Save will fall next, and Paradox have the man advantage. Badman will answer back though, making it an even Stevens. He finds 2 though. That's going to turn things completely in their favour. As the attackers with a bomb and chance towards B. All 2 players of Paradox that remain are sitting around A, so they're going to have that long rotation round and going to have to try and watch every single angle, because I'm sure this A side are going to be watching the corners and watching the placements of where any of that Paradox members can be rotating round to get towards that B bomb site.
Absolutely, as Darox works through the defensive spawn. That is the power of leaving the bomb so far back. All it took is one play from Badman, and it opens another site entirely. If they commit to it with that bomb player, they have no exit. And Badman's going to find another one in the round here. It's been all Badman for the closeout. Logan's going to find one there with the Odin, but not enough time. The snipe comes in from PLR. And very well worked round actually from Ace State. They were lost numbers advantage, but they managed to bait that pressure and just get their quick SMG player through on the pinch, and he finds 2, opens up the entire map.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal position to be in for Badman, finding 3 of them in that whole opportunity back and forward. The 2, one after the other, definitely gives yourself the advantage, and it's exactly what they've seen Ace doing. When they do get it, they get 1 or 2 kills back to back, and that's what you need when it comes to search and destroy. Make sure the trades aren't coming out. Danilo first to fall here as the snipe does come in. Crush goes straight towards that B bomb site, puts it down, and now it's going to be a retake here from Paradox. Can't afford to lose this round here, because then that means it is map point for Ace, going into it with plenty of chances to win it. And Madman though, once again, USS will find 2. PRO in between will find another, but Toxic finds 2 himself, but turns around, and Fahim finishes off with that machine pistol. It is advantage Ace going into our 9th round for the chance to close this one out here and make it 1-1 in the series. Has Ace got what it takes to take this and not falter at this hurdle?
I mean, absolutely. I feel like they're outplaying Paradox right now. The strategy, the methodology in S&D is very clean from the side of Ace. Paradox have 2 rounds primarily from big individual plays, but sometimes that's what you need to win games, is their full blow. An assault comes flying through the A bomb site. Trades going over. It's a bloodbath, pinstripe kill feed. Leaves it all onto PLR with the sniper rifle dropped into the back line. And Paradox have come out as a 4 to the good, and this should be saving an incredible clutch. A round on the board.
Yeah, this should be an easy enough round for Paradox to close out. If you lose this one, it has got to take something phenomenal from PLR, and it has been done before. We've seen them. He goes for the quick scope, doesn't manage to get it, gets too much damage, and Logan on the cross will find him, and that will be another round on the board here for Paradox. But like we said, they need to be winning every single round here from here on out, because you can't afford to lose another. And it's going to be the match towards Ace's side. Now, like I said, still got the attacking round, still got opportunities to do it. Plenty of match points in hand for Ace as they go for that quick scope straight off the rip. Piano looking and expecting players to come around, but nobody challenging that zone. Danilo with the nado will find Crush, and that will open up. Paradox with an option. Save with a snipe and a second. Straight onto Fahim. Toxic finds a third. All of a sudden, it's all down to PLR once again in a 1 versus 5 this time round. That's 1 more than it was last time round, and he won't find any. A clean sweep here from Paradox as they look to find this massive comeback that he says I didn't think I seen coming, but you just never know. Don't write them off yet.
Absolutely not. I mentioned it before. Sometimes all you need is a big individual moment. It was Logan with the 1 versus 3 that time. Danilo, great pre-nade and 2 unbelievable snipes to completely open the round up. But we go back to the tried and trusted mid to A split for the side of Ace. They're trying to bait this pressure. They're trying to bait out that aggression from Paradox, thinking, you know what, they got 2 in the round. They might play too aggressive. But Toxic with the trade onto Fahim as he finds Simpsy. The shotgun is golden as he manages now to hold this sort of mid-connector area to 4 versus 4. But the advantage of Paradox is they still have good control of that A bomb site, but you can see they're working it again, the side of Ace. They love this late rotation. It's Badman again with Sieve working the B bomb, but it might be a little too late though as PLR is caught out by Darox. But if you look, Paradox have committed entirely to this A bomb, and the B site is completely open. They're going to have to go for a very late retake here if they don't read this pressure soon, but the shots in the trophy should give away that something is up at the B bomb, but I do think the bomb will be planted before any sort of play can be made.
Yeah, and as I'm made aware, PLR is Inferno, so just in case you want to know, everybody else watching, it is Inferno, but there we go. Danilo once again with that snipe will find Save. The man advantage definitely working in their favour. Toxic will find Badman. It's all down to Crush in a 1 versus 4. It's not going to happen. Paradox once again take another round, and guess what? They are bringing it back. One map or 1 round at a time, and that's exactly what you need to do. Just chalk it off completely, take it 1 for 1 and see what you've got up your sleeve. So far they've not got the ace up the sleeve yet, but it looks like the chance they can take it out and finish them off, as Paradox will look to try and take it to maps against 0 against a side like Ace will be some feat.
Absolutely. So it's the adjustment here. The Toxic putting out the shotgun to really sort of apply pressure in these tight areas. Seems to have worked out very well for them. They've read this pressure again. Ace seem to love this A bomb site, or at least early aggression towards this A bomb site, and Paradox are all here for it. There's four of them in great positions around those crates, around those containers. You have a shotgun in the mid connector stopping anybody lurking, and then just one player in a Danilo with a sniper rifle locking down the B site. Ace really are trying to sort of itch out this pick. They're working very slowly. They're going to get that pick though, as Crush finds one onto Logan. Snipe comes in. PLR can't hit the shot though. Simpson with the SMG at range. Going to find 2. Toxic with that shotgun in the connector. Cleans it up. It's now going to be a 3 versus 2 for the side of Paradox. So a Badman though in position with this with a nade. Might find one on the stairs. Not going to connect. And is backed all the way up through the palace area of the map. Darox with the AR down low is going to get an incredible jump shot there onto Sieve to eliminate the sniper rifle. It's all on Badman. 1 versus 3. The wallbang's coming in. How about that for some map knowledge for you? As he backs him up into Palace. Badman, well, he's got a lot to do.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot to do. Ace is definitely started to fall apart as it gets down to the push versus shove position. Ace, like I said, A bomb site being their favoured point. And I mean, it's in the name. It is A for Ace. It makes sense for them to go for A, right? Let's just keep going at it and see what they can do. But Paradox has brought it right back in to contention. It looks like they're going to tie it up here in the search and destroy. It's going to be 6-6. Badman spot. Danilo's looking for that snipe. Gets the legs, right through the legs as well it goes. But Badman is going to be in a very difficult situation because there's too many members to deal with Paradox, and they will tie it up at 6-6. We're into overtime, and this can go anyway now that Paradox has got a little bit of momentum up their sleeve. They've got a chance to keep going and keep that momentum building, as they're on the attacking side. We've seen 6-6, and they're going to change things around again.
Yes, we've seen our first overtime actually as a casting pair. But on the side of Ace, you got to be wondering now, Paradox, a couple of rounds in a row, have they figured you out? Have they figured out what your plan, what your gameplay is? This is where you start to ask those questions, you know. Do our strategies work? Is the normal way of playing? Is it going to work against this team? Do we need to try and change something up? And it's looking like Crush adapting with that shotgun is going to get caught out though by Darox. So the adaptation not really working out. As I said, Paradox seem to have the number right now, but PLR in position with the sniper, we know how powerful it can be. He gets the information. They're going to back up your repositioning. They get shots downrange put into him. He's looking for that early aggression to the right-hand side. Nades and equipment though flying over his head, backing him all the way up into the spawn. Toxic with that shotgun, running it down through the smoke. They clean him out, they dig him out, and it's now 2 versus 5 with the bomb going down for the side of Paradox.
Yeah, difficult task again here for Aces. They're actually just getting shut down. Every single thing they start to do or play, it has been very much well in favour of Paradox. But Steve will find the snipe onto 1, goes for the quick scope, but the nade will trade him out. And now Badman, once again, this is a difficult task, but a 1 versus 4 it is. He's cut that down to at least a 1 versus 3, but the bomb down with 26 seconds to play. Time is against him, and the round is done. There we go. Paradox take 7-6. They're 1 round away from winning this here now. So as soon as they hit that target, the highest Paradox maybe taking 2-0 up. What has this meant? Oh, being affected here now as Ace have started to dwindle and started to falter at the very last chance of opportunity when they looked like they had so many map points on their hand.
Wow, the absolute aggression, the full send from Toxic through the smoke with the shotgun. Going to get damage in, but it's enough to create an opening for Simpsy on the opposing side of the map to catch Badman sleeping. It's going to take a massive individual play now to sort of make this round work, and maybe that's it from Fahim. A crazy chow over the top to get the trade, but Logan answers back with a snipe on the sieve on the opposite side of the map. It's all on this, a 3 versus 4. Match on the line here, map point on the line here for the side of Ace, and it will be a complete collapse if they do lose this. And you got to think to yourself then, what have you got left in the tank? But PLR does not want to let it go that easy. He's going to hit a quick scope, but does get traded out. But the pressure is now onto the A-bomb side. They're not going to go for the plant, actually. They're going to try and cut this off at the head. Fahim in a great spot. You're in the smoke. They don't really know he's here. They're dancing with each other, and he finds one, and he gets away. Danilo with the sniper going to go for the slow peek. Fahim's going to find him. Goes for the trade. Oh! Fahim finds 3. I did say we'd take a big individual play, and there it is. Ace survive overtime, and we go to another 2 rounds.
Oh my god, Fahim, it looked like everything was against him at 1 versus 3, and he closes it out to seal the deal and even things back up again as Ace now. They need to try and find a couple of rounds back to back for them to try and seal. They had the opportunity match point already. They've lost so many of them. And Paradox, they've just given it away as well with their opportunities. So now it's going to be back to square one. One after the other, round at a time. We're slowing it down a little bit now as both teams now have started to suss each other out. And like we said, Inferno getting the snipes off. We need to keep an eye on what he is going to do, what Badman can do. But Darox is going to be the one to open up and finds Badman, which means it's the Slayer on that side of Ace that is already down in numbers. They're losing that opportunity to find some good kills from him. But Nade's back and forward, cannot find any connection. It's going to the perfect spot of where Crush was, but just missing out on finding the kill from it. It is going to be an A push once again, though, from Paradox as they look to try and find corners, find angles, find opportunities. But Sieve will find Darox with the snipe. Going to go for a quick scope, doesn't find a second either. Oh. That's dangerous.
Away. Oh. No, the trade comes in. Toxic does find him and clean him up now. Full send into the bomb site. Hit knock with the shotgun. Can't connect with the second shot though. Wow, what a snipe from Inferno. He's going to find 2 on the bottom side of the site. He's given his team the lifeline for him. 1 versus 2 on the full wrap. Do they read this? It's been so long in the round since they've seen him. There's got to be an inclination he could be coming from this side, but he might have timed this to perfection. 3 has not seen the cross. Danilo has no idea.
I was about to say, I see what you did there. They have not seen Fahim. There you go. Finds one though. Danilo is going to tie it up. It's an opportunity to do a 1 versus 2. He's already done more than that already. Can he close it out? Can he find the opportunity to find Simpsy? Or Simpsy just going to beg his time, because that's all that matters now. 15 seconds left on that time. It only needs 5 seconds to defuse it. And playing around that bomb site is Fahim. Simpsy surely goes to check it right now, and he does do so. Spots Fahim, but Fahim has the time. I think he gets it.
Diffuse comes in. Oh,
bang.
Wow, nail-biting stuff. But Fahim, a 1v3 into a 1v2, trying to do it all here for Ace.
Yeah, he's definitely brought it things back into their side, and now with the overtime chance, the 1 more round is all they need. Like, as soon as they hit that 9, that is the game, and the map, well, the map done. It's not the game because it'll be a 1-1 in the series, but the way this has been going, it's been fantastic. I could see plenty more S&D rounds going as it's back and forward, and just nobody can actually seal the deal yet. It's going to be who's going to be the first one to seal the deal. It's only going to be one of them, and that's the case. But as it goes to Save, opens up the kills straight away with Danilo, and then you're going to see a full push towards that B bomb site. Toxic in and around that area though, with that shotgun in hand. We'll find Fahim. At least the clutch master is not going to be there to clutch this next round up if it comes to that. But it is now 4 versus 4 with a retake to be done over towards that A bomb site.
Absolutely, and they threw a different look in it, right? They thought, well, child Danilo sniper this time, and Steve hits the shot, and he actually pushes through and hits another shot on the back cross. So they finally go to the B bomb site, Ace. They throw a spanner in the works. The adaptation does come in, but oh, Steve's being caught by Simpsy. Simpsy's going to fly and going to catch another one onto Badman. Crush does answer back, though, but it's all going to be a 2 versus 2 Crush finessing his life, and he does find the kill. Inferno with the shot over the top, and Ace close it out. I say close it out. They survive an absolute bloodbath here on the side of Tunisia.
Yeah. On Tunisia, it was such a bloodbath back and forward, and it looked like at one point with that many points in their bag, it felt like it could have been only Ace's win, but Paradox, with the comeback of all comebacks, taking it to overtime, managed to get themselves at map point as well, but slowly that went to evens once again, and Fahim, being the clutch master himself, manages to get the round secure for 2 in a row, and that'll be the final one as well. And a fantastic position now. We're going to see, we already said we're going to see map number 4, it looks like, and that is definitely going to be the case now that we have one apiece. You know, Badman, like it says, was one of the top slayers in that lobby, but not far behind him. Well, pretty much even Stevens, right? He didn't die as many times either, and that is Inferno in second spot with 13 kills, 12 for Fahim as well. But Darrox, on the other half, 17 kills and only 10 deaths. That is a solid S&D performance for the L. That's unfortunate. Just a few of the teams just not up to that same standard there. Simply not far off the double figures. But yeah, overall, a very good search and destroy here on Tunisia. And yeah, it could have been anybody's at that point in time.
I mean, absolutely, when the lowest kills in the lobby is 7. That's a crazy S&D back and forth. You see players go 13 and 13, 12 and 12. It's just a consistent trade battle. But let's head back to the map show as we go into a 1-1. We're going to see a map 4 for the first time today. We're going to head to Takeoff. A lot of teams seem to favour this map, and we just saw it can be incredibly fast and aggressive. All it takes is one hit through that stadium side of the map, and you are in the blender of all blenders. So from the side of Paradox, maybe take advantage of that aggression. You know, you've caught Ace, maybe the sleeping beast. Ace hasn't woken up fully yet. They're relying on crazy clutch plays to bail them out, and in a game where I control, you can't rely on too many clutches with just how high pressure and how fast you can play Takeoff. Then looking at map 4 Hacienda, that seems to be a bit more of a pump the brakes. We've got 2 quite fundamental hardpoints in this series. A shame we couldn't see too much of Slums, but to me, Hacienda does favour a team like Ace, so if I'm the side of Paradox here, this map 3 is very pivotal, because if you can take this, you guarantee that map 5 firing range, and you've already shown that you can go toe-to-toe and search and destroy with this team.
Yeah, exactly that, and you want to make sure you can do that here, but as it was one piece, we're going into Takeoff control. Who gets that spawn trap? Who gets into the opportunities? That was quite a nice little transition there. Let's show the map slowly overlay. That's a fantastic little changeover from protection. Changing things up a little bit as we get ourselves into map 3 for that control. But yeah, as it is one apiece. And like you said, it's going into a map like this where slaying power could be massive. We never got to see what it was like on Slums when it was a respawn, sadly, because of the unfortunate DQ that Ace pulled out, because they were on a wee bit of a spree and they pulled a UAV. Hopefully they don't do the same again here coming in to the control, because you don't want to be losing another round. It was already a close one on Search and Destroy. They could have lost that one and been 2-0 down in the series. Thankfully for the Ace, so they managed to clutch it up and take it to one apiece to kind of make amends for map number 1. Going into this note, it is going to be into control, into Takeoff. Who is going to get started? Who's going to get fired up straight away from this rip? Is it going to be an opportunity for the attacker side to cap some zones, or is the defense going to hold out strong?
Absolutely, and you can see, like I mentioned, a complete different look. It's a 4-stack towards the stadium to the B point. Ace had no idea this was coming. They only had one player in position to even stop this. And actually, number 2 drops as well. It's a huge gunfight win from the side of Simpsy in the offensive spawn. He's going to allow his teammates to sort of get pressure on both points now. And now Ace have to make the decision. We need to wrap to clear B, or do we go to A? They're electing to try and clear B. They do get that clearance, but that does open up the pit that is the A site to the side of Paradox, and they can get some early progression and stop the clock.
Yeah, exactly that. And you've seen Darrox pushed up so far there. He was doing a good job to hold him back in that spawn at this moment in time. He's managed to be finished off eventually, and that means that the spawn player in the back that's trying to hold him is still there. But Paradox, with the advantage in lives, they're managing to win a good few gunfights. They've cleared the zone completely around A. Now they just need to make sure somebody can hop on it. But as you can see, Nrw Badman in the back trying to cause an absolute ruckus, distracted players of Paradox into the back, but he is dealt with quite quickly, and Paradox are almost about to get free. Takes a progression made over towards A, gives himself an added minute going forward and a chance to get towards B, and with that life's advantage, it is very much looking good for them.
Absolutely. Ace who finds some kills with the advantage still in the side. And right now, Logan is not missing. The XM4 is shooting lasers as he now enables some streaks. He has the Tempest and a Hunter Killer drone in the pocket. But Fahim trying to answer back here, but he is getting hunted down by that death from the sky. Logan finds him with the Hunter Killer. And we see Paradox working towards that B side. I did say that different look, that different style of play on a map like this could be pivotal. And that early break off towards B, not many teams do it. And it's worked absolutely amazing as now Ace is down to 4 players with a lot of time left.
Yeah, exactly that. Very difficult task here if you're Ace, but like we said, throw your lives at it, because if it's a close control, ticks will matter. In Paradox, they only need to find 2 more members, or they decide to go towards B, but there's 1, and it's only going to be down to 1 more member. Badman either clutches up a 1 versus 7, or he just commits his life so that they don't lose tick progression, and that's exactly what he does. Paradox will take the round, and they will only have got 3 ticks of progression, but a good start, and 1 on the clock always makes a good start, a wee bit of an advantage going into that defensive side.
Absolutely no. Let's see what Ace is trying to do in the break-off here. We saw a massive stadium hit coming from the side of Paradox. It's looking like a bit more of a default map spread here coming in from Ace. Only 2 players towards the stadium, but Badman does open up onto Darox. Pinch coming in from Toxic, though. He's going to get caught, but he manages to elude that player flanking him. Logan invests the Tempest and finds one, but does eventually get traded. Toxic, though, is going to get that one. The Hellstorm, sorry, the Predator missile coming in now as C3 positions with his XM4 to some higher ground. But a lot of investment early from Paradox. They do not want to give too much up on this break-off, but it doesn't seem like they've really got anything from all of this investment.
I was just about to say, Logan in the back spawn, once again trying to deal an absolute riot, because you've got to deal with players that is wrapping around from H, but as it stands here, they've managed to get themselves through, and Ace will get on towards that A zone. They've cleared a lot of the map, they've got themselves opportunities. The players will be spawning over towards that B side for the most part, and that's the angles they'll be looking at. But with Fahim with that Tempest, he's going to try and seal the deal here and make sure that that A is secured. Badman will find 1, but there you go. There is the XM4 once again from Logan finding 2, and it's the equalizer of Badman into the spawn, looking around to wrap around, pulls out the Hunter Killer, looking for an extra kill, pulls out the USS 9, and finds another, and now there's an opportunity to just spawn them out completely, but Paradox at least managed to stop the count of A, and gives it means there's only 36 seconds to try and capture A zone from here.
Yeah, it's actually a very well played life from Danilo. They managed to slip the net towards that top side of the map and just stays alive. Doesn't commit to anything. Allows Ace to push through on that aggression because they want to try and push the issue and try and get into that spawn trap. But all Danilo's doing there is playing spoiler. It's just picking off one player off that point over and over again, making Ace have to back up, and has actually done so much damage as they're still in the spawn. Danilo's still finding kills with that Type 63 as Crush tries to answer back shots at long range with the USS 9 is not there. Logan answers with the XM4 and Sipsy with a big 2-piece on the pitch, making it a big 3-piece on the pinch. It is no lives remaining now for the side of Ace. It's a 5v7, but the A point is capped, and we might see this slow down.
Yeah, I mean, we're back to evens, but there's a good few kills once again for Paradox. They've got the advantage by 4. There's a chance to win this round again. They do find Fahim, and now you've got 2 more players to deal with. Inferno's found, and it's now to Badman again. He's got 15 kills so far, but to even this up, he's going to have to get to 21, and that's not going to be the case here, as Paradox will take the second round and respawns. We didn't get to see it in map 1 for Slums, but it is working out for Paradox, and they're looking good in the respawns as well. With Logan going 16, Toxic with 12, Simpsy with 12 himself as well. Dark's not far behind with 11 as well. You know, most of the lobby are starting to slay out and looking to dominate this control here and try and finish it 3-0 if that's the case. But War Machine invested here as Steve finds Toxic. Dark's will find Crush as a trade out. Dark's will find Fahim straight after that as well, and Badman will trade him. Back and forward we're going to go as they're seeing the Hunter Killer come out here, and Toxic finding Inferno. Oh, it's just even Stevens better measure though. That's what's going to be clutch here. If Badman can get a good position on this, there's a couple of players clustered together. He does only find 1 though.
Absolutely. I mean, what Paradox doing so well right now is they're just being annoying. They're getting lost on the map. Every time a player gets out, Logan now with the Tempest in the spawn, every time a player seems to get out of that Ace control, they're just so difficult to deal with. They're not committing to anything. They're being ratty. They're flanking around, picking up 3 kills. But as I say that, 3 down in the feed. Logan with the Tempest, the investment comes in and it pays off. Now Simpsy investing the Death Machine, fights 3, fights 4 in the spawn, has them trapped in the health center. Nobody's surviving back there as the Death Machine spins up to 4, but the trades do come in. The split swarm comes in and Crush manages to trade him. Now Danilo with the War Machine firing the mortars cross map. This should be the A point capped unless Inferno has anything to say about it. Type 63 over the top, and Ace lacking in the lives department, but they are slowly stopping the progression. As I say that, though, 2 down in the feed. A is back in control, but somebody decapping. It's all going to be a 1v1 onto Simpsy. Fahim with a Tempest. Last one up. Finds one. When he chains coming in. No, but does find a second. A great shot from the Tempest. It's back and forth stuff, but this suits Paradox. They do have life advantage.
Yeah, they have life advantage, and with that spawn trap that they had there back in that lounge, it definitely wasn't complimentary drinks for Ace as they do start to dwindle, but they've managed to pull it back a little bit in terms of lives. 6 versus 6 it goes. Badman with the equalizer finds 2, and there's a chance now with 18 seconds here. Paradox can still win this. There is still the opportunity, but they need to either get onto A, get that ticks progression, or they finish out the kills. Toxic finds Crush up top with that headshot. Logan will find another one towards save. Back and forward, we're going. It's still 3 versus 3. It's S&D all over again, and we know who won that one. It was Ace, and they've got themselves into a 3 versus 1. The chances are still there. Toxic on his own, but he'll be finished off. Badman from up top will finish him off on statue, and that will be a round in the bag, thankfully, for Ace. But they're still at the disadvantage in terms of the score and in terms of the position. They need to try and see if they can get something strong here in their attack and round. They need some ticks of progression made and the chance to try and win this one as well. So that needs all 6. That's going to be hard.
Exactly, all ticks. We've not seen that yet on this map, but the opening break 2 for the good on both sides here as the trades come in. And it seems to be when the trade fest comes in, it just completely suits Paradox's style of play. Ace relying on a big 2-piece from Inferno to bail him out in that round. But as I say that, Dark's getting aggressive there with Equalizer. He's going to get caught immediately. The pressure has been slowed. Badman now in position on top stadium by the scaffolding. He's going to find 2 of his own. He's going to be locking down this top hallway, allowing his teams to progress towards it. But you can see Paradox want none of him up there. They're going to all wrap for him and clear him out as a team. And look at that, all the way in the back of the offense spawn, somebody has slipped all the way through. It is Danilo with the type 3. They did it before, and Danilo was playing spoiler the last time they tried to win an offense, and it looks like they're going to try and do it again as the spawn trap now comes in. Visitor center trap in play. Number 2 and number 4 have got it on lock and key as they do trade out eventually, but Darok's still in a great spot here to try and play spoiler.
Yeah, still got the advantage though. If you're Ace here, you've got the life advantage. You're making ticks progression towards A. Only at 1.5 ticks though, but they need to try and get some more kills in the feed, and as they do so, the Annihilator comes out, the Tempest gets invested as well, and that's a couple of kills going their way. Fahim finds a second, makes it a 3rd in a row. There's the 4th with Danilo as well, as he continues to feed, gives himself the advantage. This is the first time we've seen Ace with the advantage in terms of lives as big as this. 7 lives advantage. They have to get the Hunter Killer out here as well. More chance to get on towards 8. They need to get the ticks, or because that's the only way they're going to win this, or they win it in terms of the kills. And they're 14-9. There's a chance to tie it up to get the ticks, so you get yourself that defensive round. That's what their goal is now. If they can do that and seal the deal here, Ace still have the opportunity in this series and in this match.
Absolutely, but right now, when they're on this A point, they're just not respecting this office side of the map. Logan gets through the Tempest, finds 2, and repositions to get a 3rd with the XM4 now. But the A point does come in, and the life advantage, thankfully, is in the side of Ace. But they need to start respecting this top side flank a lot more. Otherwise, they're going to keep getting opened up as Paradox continue to abuse it.
Toxic goes out the Sparrow though, and we're at a 4 versus 8. You know, a very difficult task here, but these operators might come in clutch. Find a couple of players lined up. He does find Badman. Inferno falls next. All of a sudden, you're tying things up. Toxic finds another one. This is a chance. He's pulled it back. It's 5 versus 4. Make that 4 versus 4 as Logan has managed to seal another and another. There's Steve. There's the Death Machine. And all of a sudden, I feel like Paradox have this advantage for him to be found out next. Better myself getting invested. Crush will find Simpsy. It's a 3 versus 1 Paradox to seal the deal here and take this round in this map. It is all on to Crush here. What can he do with Death Machine invested? Players of Paradox just wrapping themselves around, give it away, and Logan will finish it off. Paradox somehow turned that disadvantaged lives around completely and take the round and take the map. And guess what? They are 2-1 up against Ace in a position that they probably didn't think they'd be at, but the way that they're playing these controls and the respawn, maybe Slums might have been in their favour. They could have been a chance to seal in a deal already.
Absolutely so. I mean, one thing I will note about that is I mentioned that top side flank through the office building. Logan hits it again, gets kills, opens up the map. They invest their operator skills and immediately flip what was a 4-5 life advantage into a 4v4. And the side of Paradox, they're clutching up when it mattered most, and Ace, none of those rounds were comfortable. Even the one they won wasn't comfortable. They just don't seem to fully understand what they're playing against right now. The pace and the routes Paradox are taking, they're finding these gaps everywhere. And you can just see the fact they don't respect that office flank at all in that game is either a blunder in the communication or it's just something they're really not used to. Maybe teams in Europe don't tend to hit that as aggressive as Paradox were, but it worked out perfectly, completely opened up the map, mixed it in with that first round offense where they just stacked the hell out of B. No, I've not seen a team do that yet, and it's just completely thrown Ace out of their play.
Yeah, they're definitely showing their hand here and showing why they're one of the best in Africa. This is just a performance like that with Logan and Simpsy just going off at one, getting them in the spawn trap, using them at the right time, and to find that comeback in the end there, which looked like it was almost Ace sealing a deal guarantee with the double life advantage. And like I said, they used the operators at that crucial time. Simpsy invested in the death machine. The Sparrow came out from Toxic. It was just unbelievable coming back from 4 life deficit to find every single member of Ace, and yeah, leaves them in a sticky situation where now you are 2-1 down. You're going into another respawn. We're going into Hacienda Hardpoint. You say this normally favours Ace. There's a chance for it, but the way that that respawn and where we've seen that, do we feel like maybe a respawn side like Paradox can run this down?
I mean, absolutely. I mentioned the Ace pick, for my opinion, just purely off of the gameplay. Looking at how they manipulate the map, they're a bit more methodical in their gameplay. They like to think a bit more. But Paradox have so much momentum right now, and even though Hacienda is a map that rewards teams with a bit more fundamental gameplay, if you can get aggressive and cause chaos, right? Random timings, split 50-50s, make the map really, really messy. Maybe the team like Ace, they're just getting frustrated by it. You know, what they're thinking to themselves, what are these guys doing? We've not played anything like this. And they're just completely staggered and on their heels now. If I'm the side of Ace, I'm taking 5 minutes and I'm regaining. Everyone needs to take a breath, get a drink, and we need to reset because we're on the line right now. And we need to go at least to a map 5. We need to pull this through one map at a time. And hopefully Hacienda, a bit of a bread and butter map, I would say. But given how Paradox are playing right now, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, we've already got the bread and the knife in hand if you're Paradox. Now it's just fitting that butter onto that bread and finalising the deal, and voila, that is it sorted. But Paradox, 1 map away from the win and going through as an African side to go into that semi-finals. Will they do it? Will they make that upset that we think that is on the card still? Because we're going to Hacienda Hardpoint, where you say the fundamentals need to be on point going into this one. A very crucial map here for Ace. They need to win this one to stay in the tournament and take it to that firing range, search and destroy. And we're underway straight off the rip. P1 always going to be an absolute blast because is just going to be watching from multiple different angles that we see on it. But Crush gets onto the zone. Simpsy will find for 1, adds a second. Darox finds a third. 4 dead in the feed. All of a sudden Paradox have the man advantage. They've got the point and they've got the chance to push through in towards the spawning side of Ace, where you want to have that spawn side as well, going into towards P2.
Absolutely. It was 6 straight kills of the break there from Paradox, and right now it is, what's that, 10-1 in the kill feed. They're absolutely slaying Ace off the map. Ace have lacked any type of trade pressure right now. Streak's already been invested. Hunter Killer immediately as Toxic fights 2. Nearly finding 3 there as Badman finally gets the trade. This pressure, the pace that Paradox playing right now, Ace just cannot deal with it. It is completely suffocating them.
Yeah, absolutely devastating. There's a Hunter Killer coming in here as well, trying to find more, but Danilo staying alive on the point for a second. But Steve gets a 2 kills straight away. Darox gets on in the break, comes back in for Ace. 7 more seconds on P1, but you already see the rotation coming in here for Paradox. Getting set up in the back for P2. We're going towards Garage, but there's already Inferno and Crust watching the corners and watching the angles. There's 1, there's 2, but you won't find the third. The break comes in straight away, and Sipsy is in the zone just before the time pops.
Absolutely, and he's going to find 2 on the hill as well. Ego Child's front. Who does that, right? But Simpsy does that as he flies out towards the low side of the map. Going to put shots in one, but cannot connect. And he's traded out by Steve now, who's trying to put some pressure on from the front, but the backside spawns fully in favour of Paradox. And look how messy this hill is when you do not have any form of spawn control as the shots from Logan come in. They're good enough right there to find the Hunter Killer drone, but Fahim from the water is going to find 2. Can't get any more as Simpsy already has a death machine on the second hill of the map and is investing it, really trying to put the Hurt Locker now onto the side of Paradox.
This is definitely the way to close out P2. Make sure you get all of the rest of this time here. Invest the Death Machine, invest the Sparrow as well here from Toxic. That was clutch in that last control where they came back to win it. And look at that, so can get plenty of damage done. Managed to get pretty much the majority of that time, but the contest comes in. Ace with 8 more seconds on the remainder of time. They'll get the last bit of scrap time, but Paradox with a 40-point lead going in towards P3. There's already a player around there as well. Darroch set up in P2. They've got that spawn side there, as you do see player 5 and 3 spawning that side as well. So close spawns for Paradox. A couple of good kills going their way as well. Simpsy will find one, but he is traded straight away. Tempest already invested as well, and that's the break here now that Ace needed to get back in time.
Absolutely. Badman made that a bit messy there for the side of Ace. Pushes through the driveway and actually gives Paradox that close back spawn towards 10, which is usually what you'd want on this hill, by the way. But the trades are coming in favour of Ace. But as I say that, the pinch does come in from Toxic to alleviate any pressure on front. Darroch now investing in Equalizer. He's going to be sprinting through office. Going to find 2. This specialist so deadly in a close range engagements like this. And all the trades coming in. Logan finds 3, shredding with the XM4. And they have flipped the spawns now at a perfect moment. This is a chance to spawn trap the side of Ace in that back statue area and enable a nice clean rotation to P4.
Oh, I miss operators. I really do. I might have to start picking up COD Mobile because just running around with them equalizers in hand, doing that damage and sealing the deal. All 4 dead once again here. 5 in a row actually. That goes maybe 6, 7 in a row for Paradox as they make that rotation in towards Rock. They're the first members there, but there's going to be Naze coming over the top. The Hunter Killer comes out to steal the deal on Rock, and it looks like it is going to be Paradox in control here. The chance to get on towards 100 points, but there you go. Equalizer comes out once again, and Annihilator as well, and Badman will clear the zone. Ace getting control of that time.
Absolutely, the Batman does drop in mid with Equalizer, but Inferno still with that Annihilator in hand. Is going to find 1, going to find 2. The shots are golden. The revolver is singing as he finds 3. Nearly finds the 4th as well, but Crush with the Death Machine will get the trade, but will drop as well. The specialists are all being invested into this hill, but it still looks like Paradox potentially have the chance to break as Toxic with a late Sparrow usage is going to find a pick. The nades who come over though as Batman cleans up the Sparrow as I speak of it, and Inferno flies through with the XM4. We're going to find 2, and with Badman should clean up the rest of this time. That was a much needed hold there from the side of Ace. They are right back in this game.
Yep, pulled it right back into contention here for Ace. A good round, a good hold on that hard point, even though the contest was in at times, but they managed to pull it to within 10 points. And we go back towards P1. Our second set of rotations begin, and the kill feed still looks blue for the most part here as Ace are absolutely dominating now that they've got into the swing of things here. Can't they keep it going though? That is the question here. XM4 from Logan looking to find players from that window. Does find 1 on towards Inferno. Traded straight back out though, and Ace is going to get the chance here to kind of seal the deal here and make sure they are in control of this hardpoint and in the lead for the first time in a long time.
Absolutely, and the Death Machine from Simpsy finds nothing. That's a big kill there onto that operator as Toxic flies from the top. Going to get trades in. Batman answers one back, but Darroch does indeed clean him up, and Paradox now in position to get the back 20 seconds, but the Predator Missile will be invested. You're trying to clean out P1. It connects. Inferno finds one with a pistol. C finds 1, and Fahim cleans up the 4th. It is all over the place. It is absolute war on the Spanish side of Hacienda, but Steve is in the point, and the points are starting to rack out now as Ace takes the lead for the first time in this game.
Well, we say P1 is always back and forward like that. When you've got 10 players on the map going back and forward, trading out kills, it is very difficult to get any time on towards P1, but early rotations are already being set. Ace have got the back spawn and the close spawns, and that's what they're looking to try and seal it. But with players already in from Paradox, if they can hold it out here with the equalizer, Darroch finds 2, but he will be traded out. Paradox have managed to get 3 in the feed though, straight after the rip, and that's going to be the break. But War Machine comes in, C finds 1, Simpsy, and then it's Darroch. Then is he going to add more to it? There is going to be a 4th, but yeah, this is, like I said, it's back and forward. The operators all coming at the right time when they need to try and break the hill, and it's just who has the right shots first and who has the equalizer. And there we go. He's just equalised the floor there as Batman finds 3 in a row. Tempest as well from Fahim, where the players are coming from spawn. This could be some more good time here for Ace.
Oh, Fahim with 3 with the Tempest showing off there, hitting 360s in the side room. He's going to lock down a lot of this time, but the biggest player in that entire play, Inferno. He stayed alive on that back driveway for a very long time. So even though Paradox continuously contested the time, he was playing spoiler, getting picks, opening up the hill for his team to reinforce, and it does pay dividends as they will take a 30-point lead now, heading towards that P3, and they've already got numbers advantage there. It's a 2 versus 1 on the rotation, but as I say that again, the push through towards the well side is going to give Paradox that tin spawn. That must be what Ace like to do, but it is quite concerning, I will say, as you are going to give the side of Paradox free control of Office and Plat by pushing through that point.
Yeah, exactly that. As you can see, Paradox pushing up here. Toxic pushing up towards the spawn side of Ace there. Does get one. There's the Hunter Killer coming out to try and find some more members and close them off a little bit as he does come around the corner. Caught timing at his finest, and he will be picked off. 3 in a row for Ace as they managed to get that break in towards the hill. They're going to turn their attention to the backside where they were just spawning from, because that is where Paradox will be. And a good few kills. Back and forward it goes, but Paradox are needing to come back in this. Tempest is involved, and this can be electrifying as they do find Sieve. Can they find more? No. Shut down by Crush as they break inside, and there's 3 dead once again. Paradox all faltering just at the very end on that time, but 9 seconds left. We're pretty much seeing a back and forward on this hill, and no really given time as the gap is only 20 seconds.
Absolutely, it was a huge 1v1 by Badman on the backside statue to enable Ace to get that rear end spawn and break the back 20 of that time. They're also at new first. Crush with a big 1v1 on his hands in a second. He's going to get help from bottom middle from Steve. Crush finds 2 actually in the smoke. Darox does answer back, but Crush has done enough here to give his team number advantage. Now, as I say that, the equalizers come out and find a third. Pre-firing the front now is Darox going to find a 4th as well. The equalizers really paying through, but Crush with the Hunter Killer Death Machine combo operators getting flooded through onto this P4 hill. No team wanted to give anybody an inkling of an advantage.
It is absolute chaos on the point when all these operators come out. Crush is just continuing to crush the opposition with that Death Machine, but Paradox has managed to fight back and keep this contested as long as possible so that they're not getting this point losing too much. And the fact that they're just getting one on it at a time each and every single time, it means that Ace are getting time, but they're not getting much combining to make it past that 200 point mark. With 12 more seconds on the clock, it is rotating back to our third set of rotations. P1 will about to commence again, and Paradox and Ace are only separated by a total of like 30 points.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tight affair. But you're starting to see Ace play a little bit better right here. They're starting to get, 20, 30 points per hill and contesting the rest. So Paradox not really eclipsing much of a score. Ace very slowly pulling away. Equalized now. Investing by Batman. Going to control this top spiral area. Jump over the top, and he finds one on the railing. The equalizers are absolutely incredible. But Logan managing to contest through that connector. Not going to find a kill, but going to stay alive long enough to cause a bit of chaos and enable Darox and Simpsy to find them. But as I say that, Fahim jumps through the window. SMG in hand's going to find 2 shots at range with the VMP are incredible. The Tempest now invested, even more operators coming through. 39 kills for Fahim. He's going to look for 40. Will he have the shot in the chamber as he pushes towards Spiral? We're going to spot Simpsy now. Going to contest the hill. Fahim does get cleaned up by Logan, and Darox finds the third. It's going to be 4 down in the feed now for the side of Paradox at a pivotal moment, because if they let Ace get that back 20, it looked like this game might be running away from them.
Yeah, it looked like it was. For him, though, it was looking like Grace Line in there with that Tempest once again. I swear that boy just can't be shut down with that. You can't let him get too many of them on the board, because that's just going to be a lit up kill feed. And Ace, though, have managed to get on towards that early time. We've got 3 more seconds before the time does tick, but there's only 1 player inside and have garages. It's going to be a big fight in towards this centre zone there, where they come towards that stairwell. Paradox, they need to get into this time because they can't afford to get too many time given away here. 30 seconds, or might tweak at 20 seconds here, needed here for Ace to close out the map and take it to that search and destroy. And the way that it's going, Ace are managing to round it all up completely. Crush actually had the claw invested as well, but it run out just when it was needed to be. Darox so clears the zone, equalizer in hand, traded out straight away as the War Machine comes in from save. 10 more seconds required. No one nearby from Paradox. It's a very difficult task now. 6 more seconds. They have to force their way in. Simpsy has that Death Machine. He has to make sure everybody dies to it, and they do so. It is exactly what he needed at the right time, but 3 more seconds is always required here for Ace to seal the deal. Paradox are going to have to hold the remainder of this time.
Absolutely, but they've made it difficult themselves here, Paradox. I don't think they're going to be able to do it here. As the last second, the tick doesn't come in. We are going to see a rotation. The magic pixel of 249 has been hit, but it's not over yet. Paradox have a full setup. If they can play a perfect hill, this is going to get very interesting as you reach P4.
That must have been milliseconds away from the win there from Ace, and now Paradox just need to be absolutely clinical and clean here. They can't afford to die on that hill. Everybody has to be close, but not too close. They don't all want to die one after the other straight away, but Paradox is going to get it to the 200 point mark. Can they keep the pressure on? done. Can they keep themselves alive on that hill? Nobody can come off of that. That is the thing, and there we go. It is done. Ace get the break eventually. The equaliser from Badman will clear it, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to map 5 here in the quarterfinal, where Paradox and Ace will fight it out on firing range for Search and Destroy, where it went quite a distance in their first Search and Destroy. Avo is definitely a game that deserves all of the viewers watching, because this is going to be very, very clinical from both sides. One of them is out. Africa or EU, it is still the battle between these two nations. Badman hits a 50 bomb in the lobby. Not far out behind, though, was Darox with that 49 himself, but absolutely outslaying at times for Badman. He gets the MVP and a well-deserved win. Eventually, they took it in stride of battle. It took a while to get up there. Paradox had quite a good lead to start with, but then all of a sudden it was a massive lead that Ace had then accumulated, and it made it very difficult for Paradox to try and find the comeback. They got close, but yeah, in the end, when you're only needing 1 more second on a hill, it doesn't matter how strong you are. It is very difficult to task to kind of hold that off for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, that hardpoint was a tale of two tapes, right? Like, Paradox at the opening had so many kill advantage. It was a 5 down, into a 5 down, into a 5 down with streaks and everything by P2. And for 3 straight hills, it looked like Paradox were going to run away with it. But one good P4 rotation, they get 45 seconds for the side of Ace. And if you go from that exact moment, that first P4 onwards, Ace had the spawn for every single hill following that. The fundamentals paid off. Every single hill from that point on was like a 35 point for Ace and then like 10 for Paradox. And they very gradually pulled away with only an end of a P1 sort of scramble in the 3rd rotation. And then that obviously P2 mix fest with about 15 operators invested to really sort of kept Paradox alive. So, you know, kudos to Ace. They hit the reset button about at the right time, right? Because if they didn't get that P4, they'd be down like 150, and we probably would be say congratulating Paradox on the semi-finals. But Ace reset at just the right moment to really pull that game back into their stride. But firing range, an entirely different beast when it comes to Search and Destroy. A map we've not seen in sort of professional play outside of COD Mobile since Black Ops 1 and the very, very start of Black Ops 4. So this is quite an old traditional map. Long sight lines. Every building on this map is made of paper, so you're going to see a lot of wall bangs come in, especially if anyone's rocking the FMJ attachment. And we're going through the fly-through now. You have that top wood to top tin battle. It could be quite pivotal. And if anybody can get up there, the top sniper nest is an insane power position to lock down on this map, with the B-bomb being over by the trailer park on the right-hand side. And I believe it's the A-bomb. I might have got them mixed up. It's been a while since I played this map. The A-bomb all the way down in the sandbags. I actually got them mixed up. It's B-bomb in the sandbags, A-bomb by the trailer. By the positions right. But as I was saying, a very, very different beast compared to Hacienda.
Oh yeah, definitely a different base. You're going to be looking at these snipers like Logan, Danilo. You're going to see Sieve and Inferno. They've been absolutely clutch when it comes to Search and Destroy with that sniper. A very different map for sure. All sight lines, all about these kills, and we've seen some really big clutch kills, whether you've seen 1 versus 3 with the sniper on this map, and you can see really interesting shots from different angles, different positions. And Inferno does get one. He gets the snipe, he gets the hit marker, and has to finish it off with a machine pistol. Goes for the quick scope again through to 10, but doesn't find him. Will manage to get back though and keep his life as well. So there's no trade out there as they have the advantage. See, finds another snipe onto Zimpsy. Crush will find Logan. Inferno will get the quick scope onto Danilo, and now they've got the advantage. But Toxic, the last remaining member of Paradox. A good starting round here if you are Ace, and they want to keep that going.
Absolutely. I mentioned it before the map actually started. Inferno got to that sniper nest, and if you can get there, especially with a sniper, you can open up so much of the map. He finds the pick into the connector and drops down and manages to completely open up that B-bomb site down by the sandbags for his team. That position is so powerful and so difficult to get to. So if you can get there, then wow, you better make it work.
Yeah, exactly that. You have to make it work here. There comes the early nade here. Toxic pushing quite far up here, straight into 10 as quickly as he possibly can. Get that information, get any tags with the nades, slow them down for that push, but he'll be found out because Fahim sends a nade in there though. Darox will be the first. He's watching the corner. There you go. Toxic is found out. He did get that stun catching him out, and then that's where the trade comes back and forward, but 3 dead in the feed here. Paradox has managed to turn this on its head here. Can he keep it going? No, as it is now a 2 versus 2. The two of them are challenging him as well, and Simpsy doesn't even care. He gets the jump shots and he gets the kills, and he secures the round for Paradox.
A big two-piece there. Fortunately for Simpsy, both of the sniper players are left in the 2v1 there, and both ran out with the machine pistol. But when you don't miss with the USS 9, you're never going to lose that. As we repeat now, utility coming over. Simpsy rushing back to his trailer yet again. But wow, what a pre-snipe through the wall from Steve. He knew exactly what was coming in that round. Shots from Topwood's going to back Darius up for him with the Odin in hand, putting in shots through all parts of the map, looking for wallbangs. Like I said, this map is effectively made of paper, and the Odin will absolutely shred anybody if you catch them out of position. He spots that player in the trailer. Will he elect for a mid-rush again, or are they going to try and slow this round down? It looks like they're going to try and go for a spread, maybe catch somebody out here with a sniper.
Oh, he gets a tag as well through the wall. This is the thing with map knowledge and positioning. They know exactly where they want to be aiming that sight, no matter where they are at which time on the map, and that's what makes this a really interesting map to watch. Firing range with snipers on it is just absolute carnage. You could be wall banging from halfway across the map, and you're finding tags, you're finding kills. Darox will find saves though, and we'll make it a 4 versus 4. Going into it, the bomb will be getting placed down towards that B site. All of the members of Ace are in and around that. Good nade over the top though, that might deal some damage if they can get the knowledge, but Fahim will be picked off as Darox finds his way in. Slowly but surely waiting on the rest of his team to get close so they can start making that push and that man advantage count.
Absolutely. It looks like Toxic was anticipating a wrap coming out from somebody here, but it's not come through. Danilo with a slow peek. Gonna find Crush now. The Carnage shots come in here. Inferno and Badman last alive. Inferno finds one. Badman trades the other. And Darox will find it onto Inferno, and the defuse will come in. And the body shooting begins. It's map 5. Maybe it's the curse of the caster. It's a bit early to stop body shooting if you're Paradox. It might come back to bite you. But I tell you what, you're playing Mental Warfare. After taking a map 1 forfeit, you're trying to play Mental Warfare with Ace. That's exactly how you do it.
Yeah, exactly that. You have to kind of put it in their heads, put pressure on that Ace side, because they obviously lost the last S&D if you're Paradox, and they need to win this one to win the series. It's all down to this. They've got the advantage. They're leading by 1. And they'll need a good few rounds here to try and give themselves a good advantage against a team like Ace, who have been very strong, and they had a massive lead last time round. This time round though, Darox finds one. He gets the opening kill on towards Crush. Logan will find Fahim. All of a sudden, Paradox are finding the kills that are needed. Badman starts to shoot bodies as well, and Simpsy expecting another player to come around, but it's all down to Badman, a 1 versus 4. And if, like I said, anything, it's going to be a difficult task, but all of them are converging onto that site. Simpsy makes sure that Badman is shut down, and they have the lead by 2.
Absolutely. It was an aggressive B hit there to the sandbag side of the map from the side of Ace, but Paradox do make it work. They get an early blood on the pick from Darox, who manages to walk up to that B bomb site and catch that player in the close corner. He did it in the retake. He's done it again in this round, and now he's back to his position here on the mid connector, sort of floating between the two bomb sites. Looking like a wood stack coming in from the side of Ace, trying to get any picks, but as I say, that Toxic long-range shots with the SMG is going to find Steve with his sniper rifle out of position. And now we have man advantage and complete map control for the side of Paradox. Danilo with a sniper wallbang headshot coming through on the Badman. Like I said, this map can be insane when you know exactly what part of the wall to shoot with your sniper. And it's going to be 5 versus 3. All the work to do. As I say that though, Danilo with another snipe onto Inferno. And it's looking like a very clean round here for the side of Paradox.
Yeah, Paradox just looking absolutely clinical here. They're closing these rounds out in fine fashion. They've got 2 members to deal with now of Ace, with all 5 of theirs still up. Bomb is not being put down in any position. They're not getting a chance to get anywhere. Darox and Fahim, well, Darox and Fingui will get these kills, and there's a big lead that we haven't seen other than the first round where Ace looked like they were on match point, and the map point, sorry, and it's not to be counted out. Ace can still have this comeback opportunity now, but they've still got 1 more round on the attack. What have they got here? Is Paradox making this 5-1, or is Ace going to at least make it a 4-2?
Darox, a mid-hit coming in. Darox finds one, but the trade comes in by Inferno, but Simpsy's going to be there. That's the reason they rush trailer. It's to counter that exact play through the mid-map, but the trades do come in 3 versus 3. They have the info, and they have nades over, but the utility is not going to land. It's going to let Fahim get this bomb down. The nade lands on his head, and Simpsy finds the shots on his feet. Trades come in. Toxic 1 versus 1 now against Steve. Sniper versus an SMG. They know where each other are, and there's going to be a chess match. He spots him. The shot comes through, but it's not going to connect. And Toxic manages to get away. He's going to work his way towards Wood. I don't think Steve's going to anticipate this pressure. Toxic's worked this really well. Neither player sprinting now. They do not want to give away their position. Steve working towards that bomb. Toxic going to get the shot sound range, and the 1v1 comes in. Wow, what a nade and what an execute there from Simpsy onto the bomb site.
Paradox showing up for the African nation here, looking to slot a position into that semi-finals. The first African team side, the one of the two that are taking part in the competition still, that are still here and alive and kicking. The Paradox are only 2 more rounds of S&D away to close it out and seal their position into that semi-finals. For him though, he's going to try and make a stop to it, but Toxic will trade him out. Nade's coming back out and the bomb will go down towards that site, and he does get hit. The bomb was coming over. You seen that nade coming over the top, and Darox got up quickly as possible so he could avoid any of that damage. Thankfully for him, he stays alive, and Crush will get the shotgun shots though, but he's traded out. Back and forward, we're going to go. Toxic with 2 though, that might change things back in their favour, but Steve will do the exact same back, and Danilo was the last man left alive with a sniper through the smoke. Sneaky Ninja coming in, and that is going to be clutched up there as Inferno does get the sneaky little Ninja defuse with the smoke up. It makes it a difficult task if you're Danilo as well to kind of push yourself in there.
Absolutely. With the sniper pistol combo as well, you have to run through that smoke blind and hope that nobody's waiting for you. But I will say there is Paradox's entire game plan. It refers around this trailer. They play super aggro towards it, and they try and deny any pressure, and they're able to open up the map from it. As I say that, though, they're going to give a different look. They're going to try and work towards wood, and maybe look towards that be it for him, rattling some shots with the Odin through, and wow, he snaps and deletes Darox there on the right side wood window. Logan now picking with the sniper, going to get the hit marker. Fahim cleans him up as well. That's 2 in the round. Here's Fahim running through the middle of the map. He was the talisman that brought Ace back into the game last time, and he's looking to do it again as he fights 4. He's looking for all 5. Will the Ace come in? Last player road towards red. Fahim starting out with the Odin, the shots in, and nearly rips Danilo with the machine pistol as Danilo has his back with the Crisco. No! Third! Oh my good god.
I thought we were going to see
absolutely world starring each other.
Mate, that was the craziest scenario there. I thought Fahim had the ace for ace, and then all of a sudden he's shut down. Danilo gets free with his sniper and almost closed it himself. Oh god, what a round. But yeah, Paradox are slowly losing rounds here. 2 back to back here from Ace. They need to keep it going. The momentum's well and truly in their favour on these defensive rounds. But Darox opens up the kills. Fahim, first one to be found. That's the player that has been dealing so much damage in that last round. And thankfully, they've cleared that away. Logan will get the bomb down over towards the site of A. But the nade comes out. The snipers come out here as well and save Inferno, finding 1 apiece.
Absolutely, they've gone back to the tried and trusted Paradox, back to the trailer pressure. They're going to get 2 players inside now. It's going to be a hard retake as these doors are very hard to clear. Toxic finds one, Badman going for the trade, cannot find it. He's going to let for a wrap. They're going to have to try and trade this out. Your Crush though goes in by himself and gets caught in the 2 versus 1. They're making a hash of this race. They had numbers, but they're going in one at a time, and Simpsy is making them punish as Inferno fights on with the pistol. He's going to hop the bomb. Toxic's going to run at him. You have the pistol out, and he's not going to win it. Toxic cleans it up. And a bit of a misplay there from Ace. They had numbers, but they elect to go in one at a time. No pinch comes in. And Simpsy and Toxic makes them pay. The SMGs in the trailer, so difficult to deal with if you don't do it right.
We are on the cusp of seeing an African side beating the EU side of Ace in this quarterfinals to make it to the semis. Have they got what it takes to close this one out? They've got plenty of map points for it, but Fahim once again opening up with that first blood, looking to find more again in the same positions when he goes through that wall. But Darox from up top tries to get his shot back towards him and not going to get the trade back out, but quick scope with the snipes predicting where they could be. Danilo will find Inferno. That's at least even Stevens once again. A 4 versus 4 scenario we're in. 1 minute 25 seconds, nobody pushing bomb sites. It's a very risky play here if you're Ace, because you can't afford to be losing rounds. Everything has to be clinical from here on out, or else you are out of the competition.
Absolutely, and what I will say for the side of Ace, they do have a good amount of map control. They've got trailer control, they've got mid control as Fahim wide swings Darox in 1 versus 1 and rips his head clean off his shoulders. Steve in position with the sniper, doesn't look like Toxic had the angle, but Steve has spotted him. They're going to meet up with each other here. Toxic does catch Steve slipping and manages to open up the B bomb site. Now look at the rotate come in. But the side of Ace still think this is going to be towards A. They have no idea that the map's completely opened up, though. Fahim does answer back with a snipe. It is a 2 versus 3, but the bomb is all the way over a B. And will Simpsy elect to slide to that bomb? But the longer they take, the more obvious it becomes. The wrap will start to move in. You can see number 3, that is Fahim. Who else do you want wrapping for this? He's going to look towards that B bomb site, but it's going to be a bait as the Paradox side elect to work back towards A. But this is exactly what Ace anticipated. Number 1 is going to have the cross and the information. Going to see both players cross now, and we're going to see them run right into the Hornet's nest.
Crush inside shed here, looking to look for any of the players crossing around. There you go, one slides in, found out. Toxic is finished off with. Simpsy will follow to Crush as MP, and that'll be another round on the board for Ace, but they need another 2 at least to tie the series up here in the Search and Destroy. And at this point in time, Paradox still have match points. They just can't do what Ace did last time in S&D, where it all came back and it was pretty much going down to overtime. This could still happen, it could still go the distance, it could still go overtime. But Paradox, they got what it takes to close it out. Pressure is on, and Fahim once again opens that first blood. Traded out though instantaneously this time round, rather than the delay, which is always a bonus if you're Paradox. You're getting yourself towards that A bomb set. You've got one member on it. You're going to try and push straight through. Logan and Simpsy working together inside the building. Can they find a pick? Can they find a first opportunity? But Crush is inside once again, and he closed out that last round with 2. He's going to spot 1. He's going to find Simpsy. He's going to turn on to Logan. He finds 2 again. Shoots back at his teammate there, but thankfully for them, they are in the lead and advantage. Danilo going for the wall bangs, just misses the toe as well. That could have been an interesting snipe, but now a difficult task once again. Ace holding to come back from this one again.
Absolutely. I mean, Paradox go back to their trailer push, and Ace finally decided to send Crush into that trailer to cause some chaos, and he manages to find 2. Great pre-fire into the second. Inferno now is going to catch Darox on the rotation. It's all on Danilo with a sniper, but we know what they can do with it. He finds 1 and looking for that second player close right corner. Not going to see Crush. All you do is Ace now is not give them anything. You have bomb down on that A site. Just don't give them anything. As Danilo with a sniper pistol combo has so much work to do. Going to spot someone over by the American side of the map. Not going to connect with anything. Going to find with a pistol. Going to find 1, but the trade comes in from Badman. It's well played by Ace. And that is 3 straight rounds. We've seen them do it before. Are they going to do it again? Paradox starting to falter. Their default idea of smashing the trailer is no longer working. Will they like to switch it up here this late into the game, or will they stick to their guns?
Yeah, well, let's see if they're going to stick to their guns. Paradox has got this last opportunity of map point and match point, and this is all down to it. Toxic opens up the first kill there onto Fahim. Trade comes back in. Simpsy back and forward it goes, but that's a couple of kills going the way of Ace. The sniper pulled out here as Inferno is on 2. Darox tries to find another, but he's finished off. Danilo looks like he's all to do again. A 1 versus 3, and it looks like Ace is going to be to tie up the Search and Destroy once again, and this is going to go back to overtime unless Danilo can pull out the 1 versus 3 to seal the deal for semi-finals. This is the most pressurous opportunity for that side of Paradox that he'll ever accomplish if he does do so. I mean, a difficult task, but not impossible.
Not impossible, but very improbable. And you saw the adaptation, right? The smokes dropped down. That signified a trailer push, but no, they went straight through to front American on the side of Ace, but they only managed to find 1 with that play, and the trades do go in their favor as Crush wins a big 1v1 on the backside of Tin. Now all on Danilo trying to work this 1 versus 3, but like I said, you've got bomb down on A again, you've got all of the crosses. Just don't peek anything. Make Danilo have to make the play, and Ace are doing exactly that. Look at the minimap, all 3 crosses covered. Danilo, no information, and only 30 seconds to work with.
Yeah, and Inferno's got the perfect peeking angle as well at this point in time. As soon as he gets onto that bomb site, that should be Inferno straight in the sights. Does he pause it? There's the call. He's going to peek the corner. There you go. And it's the opportunity. Perfect timing for casting as we tie up this series in S&D. Overtime we go once again. Last time, Ace clutched up and eventually found the win. But this time round, it was Paradox with the lead. Can they eventually clutch up, or is Ace going to take this one as well? Down to the wire at least we go for our next semi-finalist position. Who takes it? Overtime will decide it.
Toxic and the crew electing to get aggressive here onto the front red. Again, an adaptation, right? They go to that trailer rush, but instead of rushing to the trailer, they push through to the offensive spawn. This is going to enable early pressure towards the snipers, and it's actually a bait. Smoke drop, and they're back out of there. But look how deep they've forced Ace's sniper team all the way to back red. They've got a good control of the map now, and Fahim Topwood has to try and work a pick out of nothing as they really... Right now, Ace have no map control to really work with. They have to try and check one of these very deep corners towards B, or hope they can get something towards the A site.
Yeah, you got to think though, might work in favour for Paradox, because these are the rounds that they were winning. The defensive rounds going their way. Now that for the defence this time round, but tied up, they get the first kill on towards Inferno. They've got the advantage in numbers, but now they just need to play it that way and make sure that nobody gets towards any of these sites. You've got two players watching over that A bomb site. You've got one player going around the middle of the map looking for, I think it was player number 1 of Toxic. Oh, that's going to be a nice snipe though if you're safe. He finds Danilo, makes it even Stevens, 4 versus 4. Still all to play for though. They still have 43 seconds to try and wrap a bomb around to one of these sites. Looking more likely to go towards that B bomb, as there is 2 players that way with the bomb in hand. Going around, it's going to be where these kills go next. Logan no finds save. Now you're going to have the advantage once again if you are Paradox. Sipsy finds Fahim as well. All of a sudden it's down to 2 versus 4. Paradox with the advantage, knowing that there's nobody else around the A site. They're going to have to go towards B, and all 4 players will start to converge as soon as that bomb goes down here from Crush.
Absolutely. I mean, the play right there from Ace was good, right? Get a pick towards A, force the rotation, get a free B plant, but I do feel like the players at A played a little bit too quick. The team at B hadn't quite cleared the site yet, so the bait was not quite in, but the bomb does go down, and this is a good scenario here. If you're outside of Ace, you have the advantage of being elusive. The other team does not know where you are, as they have to clear all of these tight corners. Great for an SMG player like that, but the bait and switch is insane. The speed to get around that corner, 0 chance, and now the 4 players all converge on the bomb, and Crush cannot do anything, and the body shooting remains in from Darox as we go to 7-6 in favour of Paradox in this overtime.
I mean, you come around the corner like that and you see all 4 members jumping through the window. You're like, right, I've got to try and line these all up in one magazine or I am dead. And that is exactly what happened there. Paradox taking it to match point. Once again, an opportunity to close it out. Can they do it this time? Have they got the ace in the veins ready for this one? For him though, early nade does find Logan, gives himself the man advantage. Crush looking to send a nade of his own as well. That's going to get some knowledge. That could have worked out there if it was cooked a little bit longer. Sadly it wasn't, but bad man. Oh, Toxic will get him. Trade back and forward. Crush though with a big 2. There you go, this looks like defenders.
Finds one. Crush, they got them trapped, they got the info. Crush is going to turn, get some shots into Darox, but the ladder climb's coming up, but Darox now trapped inside of this tin building, going to be putting some shots down, flying back and forth. Top fences can't really do much here as the collapse comes in, and Darox is cleaned up by Fahim. What a nade, by the way. The prediction from the side of Ace, Paradox have not really shown anything at B. So for the first time in this game, Ace go, you know what, let's chuck 3 nades at the B push, and it absolutely works out. Blood comes in for Fahim, and the trades do come in. A sort of blind counter coming in there from the side of Ace, but it does pay dividends. And now we go back to 7-7.
Yeah, exactly. This is it now. Paradox back on that defensive side. This is the quickest round we've seen. Quick and sharp it goes, and Ace are looking to seal the deal here. Logan left as a 1 versus 3. Difficult task once again, but Ace on the attack round. I think with a win on the attacking round, this is going to give them the best opportunity that we've had so far to seal the deal, because attacking rounds haven't really gone in the favour of most of the attackers, that's for sure. Logan has to try and do a difficult task. Now he's given away his position, the shots do miss, and he's going to have to do a long wrap around the map. See, flying down in that position, he knows he's there, he's got an idea, he does find one, still got the opportunity. Badman, can he finish him off? Can he give it a chance? He does, gets damage on. Logan doesn't challenge it. The wall bang's going in. Fahim will win the gunfight eventually through that paper thin wall. And Ace now have map point and match point in their hands this time round. Have they got what it takes to finish it out? They did it last time in Search and Destroy. Can they do it again in overtime?
Absolutely. I mean, I love what Ace did there, by the way. They took Paradox's strat. They went, you keep going trailer, fine. We're smoking mid and we're going trailer. And they did this strat and they said, we'll do it better than you. And it works out for them as they now take a 1-round advantage. And now we have Paradox on the offense. And look at this. A team that's been so aggressive for Paradox towards the trailer or towards B. And they are all pinned in the back of the map. Badman in a very sneaky spot by this crate. Daro's going to check it, though, and finds the first blood and opens up this B bomb site. Now the rotators do come in through that mid-connector area. Nades being cooked, though. They're going to be sent straight into that mid-cut. Will they find anything? Damage does come in onto one player, but C finds a snipe. Fahim going to get caught by Toxic, though, to check in every corner possible right now. If you're Paradox, you're going to open up that B bomb site, and it's going to be a 3v4 retake.
Yeah, no, this is all down to them there. Save might actually get timing on the bomb planter, and he does. He knows he's there, but he's shot early. The feet weren't enough to get the kill. Oh, Inferno, though, does find one. Crush finds another. It's going to be finished out here. 2 versus
Inferno!
1. That is it done. Ace have won the round. They've won this quarterfinals in the overtime. Once again, in Search and Destroy, ladies and gentlemen, Ace will be your team to progress. Sadly, Paradox, the African side, have just fell a little bit short, but I can't lie, it has been one of the closest matches we've probably seen so far of the whole tournament, and it could have went either way.
I mean, absolutely. If you're Ace, this is what I would call a pressure test, right? You came into this tournament confident you could win it. You get another dog team, a bit of an unfortunate swing set with one map, and like I said, this is all about your mental. How is it going to be in this scenario? And it's been tested to oblivion. You get 2 double overtime S&Ds, you get blitz in a control, and you have to make a comeback and a hacienda. But when it came down to it, experience wins over. Inferno 17-9, Fahim 16-12. Phenomenal S&Ds, by the way, out of Fahim that entire series. He really willed his team through in this one. And for the side of Paradox, commiserations, an amazing showing there from the African team, representing an entire region and taking an EU giant to the bitter end. And probably should have won, but that's it. You know, when you're inexperienced, these things happen to you. Little clutches, little chokes come through, and you saw the adaptations of both searches from Ace were good enough to make it happen, and they do advance now to our semi-finals.
Yeah, exactly that. A well played from Ace. Probably not the fashion that they'd want to. Probably not the fashion that Warden expected of the side. But Paradox definitely shown for the African nation, showing why they should be getting involved in a lot more tournaments and showing up like that. I mean, there was a chance for them. They could have closed it out. They could have had that opportunity. They had the big, massive lead after their attacking rounds on, their defensive rounds on that Search and Destroy. But it just kind of swings and roundabouts, right? I mean, it happened the same way. So on the other side, they couldn't win on their attacker rounds when it was needed. So that's just unfortunate. But Ace showed their experience, showed their class, and finally get themselves through to that semi-finals. That being said, there's other teams that still need to join them in that semi-finals, and that's going to be tomorrow for the other quarter-finals, 3 and 4. Animus versus Exclusive. The battle of the 2 top teams of EU will be facing off tomorrow evening. You can't miss that one for sure. That is going to be an absolute bloodbath. That might even go the distance as well. Another map 5 for sure. And you actually get to see all hot map 5s, I hope, as well. Other than that, you're going to see another African side of Instinct up against the Troglodyte tribe. Who's going to go on? Are the African nations going to be all supporting that side of Instinct, hoping that they'll see an African nation in that semi-final? If not, it'll be a full EU showdown till the end. And yeah, what better way to do it than come here again tomorrow and watch it? You've been joined by myself, Mark of G, and Avo. I hope you've enjoyed the match. I certainly have. I mean, it's been phenomenal to watch over these 2 series. One was a quick 3-0. The other one went down to the wire in overtime. I mean, we don't get them very often in normal Call of Duty casts where we get to see that sort of map plays and games, and we've been begging for map 5s so many times when we've casted together, and finally we're getting them a little bit more now, and also now on COD Mobile. I mean, phenomenal series.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Commiserations, as I said, the Paradox, a phenomenal series. All things considered, with the map one, obviously a bit of an issue, but every other map came down to it in every single round, every single engagement. Both teams looked very evenly matched. I just think experience paid a little bit dividends there for the side of Ace. And then on Nrw International, they came out and absolutely blitzed Quantic and showed you why they are super confident that they are going to be able to progress very far in this tournament. It would be nice to get an Africa team in the semi-finals, but obviously we can't always get what we want. And as for me and Mark, this will be our last cast here, I believe, for the tournament. So you know where to be, Atlas, same time, same place tomorrow for the other games and another great casting pair. And thank you to everyone at Atlas for having me on board. It's been great to learn some COD Mobile and great to cast with my good friend Mark. And that'll be all for me in this tournament. Thank you very much.
Exactly. It's been a phenomenal cast. It's been phenomenal to get part of COD Mobile as well, and to see some of these fantastic players on every single match that we've ever got the chance to cast over. I will be keeping in the chat and in the watch to see who goes on the distance. We'll be watching every single cast alongside you guys as well. But remember, tomorrow, same time, same place, Animus versus Exclusive. It's your first match of the day. Get yourself in there tomorrow evening. We'll catch you then.
See you later.